right, there we go. Sorry about that. Brought everybody over and then forgot to unmute the mics. So here, yeah, it's been one of those days. All right, so we're back. My lighting looks a little bit different, so I'm not all that happy about that, but it is what it is. Yeah, so today, as you can tell by the background, it's a little bit different of a game. It is still set, obviously, in Ashland by night, which is our primary vampire game. But tonight, everybody is taking the roles of sorcerers, and they are currently in Portland, attempting to deal with the chaos therein, which Portland has actually been kind of an ongoing thing now for the past almost 2 years of the game. Which the game is almost 2 years old. It's going to be coming up here pretty darn quick, as a matter of fact. The first meeting we ever had, you know what? Now that I think about it, the first meeting we ever had about the game, I think, was in February 2 years ago. And I think we started playing in March, so we may actually be 2 years as of this month. So, with that being said, your sheet pulled up here. Tonight is going to be a little different. Tonight, everybody has been called to an away point in Portland, Oregon. It is pardon the cliche, it is a very dark and stormy night. There are some winds. Rain seems to be pelting the city itself, slapping down on the pavement. There are a bit of thunderstorms that linger in the background, so it is not a pleasant night. There is a chill in the wind. You have actually all been brought to looks to be a motorcycle gang's clubhouse. There aren't many people here at this point. There are a couple people. It looks like they're probably like garage monkeys of some form or another that may hang around and do repairs and whatnot. But otherwise, they're not involved in your activities. Currently set amongst you are two individuals. One is Sandra Keekley. Sandra Keekley is somebody that most everybody knows. Sandra Keekley resembles a young Helen Mirren. She carries herself and wears clothing that accentuates her classy yet a bit of a mother hen. Nice sharp business lines to her attire. Kept hair. Always make sure that because she never knows where she's going to go. She always has her makeup done very tastefully. The other individual here is Cornell Biakapatuka. He's a black man in his mid-30s, very athletic, but looks like that may have been back from high school days, perhaps early college. But he is very business casual, in a polo and slacks. They have brought everybody together, as well as, although Todd isn't with us, Todd's character is here as well. They've brought everybody together, and at least from what was originally mentioned to all of you, that there's obviously problems in the city, and that you're all being called together with the hope that they can formulate a plan to stop the chaos that is ensuing. Sandra takes lead for most of the conversation, with Darnell just kind of, or Cornell, I should say, hanging out in the background, answering questions occasionally as they might be needed. I'll let everybody give a description of their character, however they envision it. Why don't we start off with Brittany? Why don't you tell us what your character kind of looks like, maybe what any distinguishing marks or anything she might have on her that kind of stands out. I can't hear you. Hang on. Because I cannot hear anybody. Maybe it's on my end. No, it is not on my end. I know everybody can hear me. That is really weird. That is the first time for that. I've never had that happen. Try something real quick. Let's see here, because I'm not getting anything from anybody. You guys can all hear each other, though, right? Okay. Let me try something real quick. Be right back. I'm going to log out of this real fast. You guys don't go nowhere. Ooh, I wonder if that might be it.
I should have drawn my character before.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Yay!
Oh. I thought you couldn't hear me because when you were talking about the game's anniversary, I was thinking, or I was trying to tell you that I was gonna keep track of that, but then I got a new phone and my calendar didn't transfer over, and so I don't have all of those dates anymore. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. It would help if I unmuted myself from the recording here. Okay, so now I know we're definitely good. Everybody can hear me, and now everybody watching can hear me as well. Ugh. Apologies. Yeah, I definitely have a light going out. I am darker. Hold on one second.
What anniversary is the 2-year anniversary?
The 2-year anniversary of the vampire game.
Yes.
No, I know, but you know how like the 5-year anniversary is like paper or whatever, and then 10 is wood. Like, what's the 2-year anniversary? Is it like the Chef Boyardee anniversary?
Do you get pearls?
I mean, what gift do you need to get for which anniversary year?
Oh yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Second anniversary is cotton.
Socks.
Cotton.
Okay.
Third anniversary is leather, so I guess we have that to look forward to.
Oh, okay. Is that, so that's the official ruling. All right, cool. We can get down with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at any rate, so back to where I left off. Why don't you go ahead and start describing your character, Brittany?
Okay, my character is on the taller side of average, athletic, wearing kind of like what do you call it? Like basically athletic yoga type pants and a long sleeve shirt and just a jacket. Very kind of sporty, casual looking. What else do I need to say?
That's fine.
Oh, just like hair tied back.
Do you have any piece of equipment or anything that might stand out, or tattoos or anything of that nature?
Eye makeup is a little bit dark, but otherwise,
I think that's okay. We all like the 80s, right?
I don't know. Would I have I would probably have a bag.
Probably.
I have a bag. You don't know what's in it.
Maybe one of those fancy like hip pouches that tie it like the leg.
No.
No? Okay. That got vetoed real quick. All right, so that is Brittany's character. Missy, why don't you explain to us what we're seeing here?
All right. Well, my character is average height for a female. Not very skinny, but not too big. Just kind of average physically. But she's wearing a billowy cotton dress that's black, and it has very faint embroidery on the edges. And she has motorcycle boots that look like they're a little bit too big. She also has a leather jacket. And her hands kind of look like they've been dipped in henna, almost. Like, up to the wrist. Besides that, she's wearing a face much like mine.
Okay. Rachel, why don't you describe what we're seeing with your character? How do you see her?
My character is quite slender, but she's got basically black hair that she kind of keeps up into like a sort of loose sort of bun, usually at the top. She's very pale, but she's got basically black hair with sort of darker green eyes. And she's, I would say, probably average height for a female as well, probably 5'5". Is that average for a female? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is average.
And she tends to wear mostly black, like just different variations of black or textures of black, almost like a hairstylist would, at a nice salon or something. And she has a necklace that she wears around her neck all the time. It's I don't know if it's like an emblem. I don't know if it's like it's a relic, like it's a token or something. I don't know how to describe it. And yeah, I mean,
it doesn't look like
it.
your average necklace, like jewels and whatnot.
Looks like an heirloom type deal. Yeah,
or perhaps something custom made.
Right, but it's got kind of an antique-ish type feel. But yeah, so she's relatively young. I think she's maybe 25, 26, in that range.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Same. Early/mid-20s.
Okay. And George?
Okay.
Why don't you tell us about this go-getter?
Yes. So this character has short but very neat cut hair, like thick rimmed glasses. Like he's wearing a button-up shirt, no tie, but he's got a blazer on, and over the shoulder he's got like a backpack. He doesn't have like both straps up. He's just got like one. He's sort of holding it with like his right hand. I guess like for like this character, he's kind of like a mix between like Tobey Maguire and like Joseph Gordon-Levitt in terms of like appearance and like demeanor. He's standing very straight. He's wearing like pressed slacks. He looks like this is the most serious thing in the world.
Okay. And hold on one second. I pulled up the wrong one. Yes. Okay. So another individual who is also standing there, about middle-aged, average height, wearing also in what appears to be newer clothing, probably more Carhartt looking of type, so outdoorsy, but could pass for business casual. Has some boots, has some hiking boots on, as well as was there something? Does have a small backpack with him as well. It looks like it perhaps has some gear in it of some kind. The backpack itself looks pretty worn, like it's something he's had for quite a while. So Sandra turns to everybody and she says, I thank you all for coming on such short notice. I do apologize that there isn't more we could provide, especially in the way of hospitality. This is not the way I would like to introduce new people, especially to one another. But I think all of you know that something is desperately wrong in Portland, and it has been for some time. All of you have been called together to assist with helping deal with an errant child who we believe is responsible for all of this. Her name, correct. Her name, we believe her name is Juliet Washington. She, without going into the full story, she was an abused child growing up, bounced from home to home in the system, and later came to our attention shortly after aging out, and we realized that she had gifts similar to all of you. However, we lost track of her, and when she later reemerged, she reemerged with a cult behind her. We don't know if she was involved in the cult or if she took it over. We're not too sure, but since she had dropped off the map, much of the city had been thrown into chaos. Roughly 2 years ago, the city had been plunged into a riotous situation of almost daily chaos and infighting. There were obviously problems with police trying to keep up with local crime. There were fires. There was destruction of property. But what many in the city don't know is that the supernaturals within the city also felt the effects, and the vampires went to war with one another, as well as werewolves tore through the city, and it was utter chaos. There was large degrees of large degrees of indiscriminate destruction, and many people lost their lives. We weren't certain at the time what had happened. We had very few clues, and we had been trying to follow up and explore the ideas of what had happened. We weren't certain if it was the vampires that instigated something and this kind of came back on them, or what exactly happened. We later learned, unfortunately far too late, that Miss Washington had been involved in a series of infernal rites, attempting to raise the demon Daglathol. And she was close to succeeding the first time, which is what apparently caused the chaos in the city before. We're 100% certain that the chaos that we are witnessing now is the cause of this. A group of individuals have already gone off to try and confront and stop her directly. But unfortunately, we don't know if they're already too late, which is why we needed your help. Your task that we're asking you to perform, and of course we are always willing to consider payment, of course, we're not asking you to do this for free. But we need another group of individuals to investigate these points around the city in which this summoning circle had been set up. And it has been set up in a 5-point star. We are hoping that the demon has not been raised as of yet, and if not, then destroying every one of these points in the city should prevent him from rising. If he has arisen, at least destroying them should weaken him enough that a confrontation could occur that we might possibly defeat him. And that is why all of you are here. What we do know, and what we can share, is we're in the midst of a siege in the city. Another group of vampires has come in to apparently kill off what vampires remain. And don't ask me about the politics. I don't fully understand it myself. But apparently there are two warring factions, and this other faction is very bloodthirsty, also very indiscriminate towards life, and is looking to probably kill anything in its path. We also have word that there are werewolves within the city yet again, and as we understand it, they seem to be natural predators towards the vampires. But we know that they're not ready allies to us as well. So, questions? Anyone? Yes.
So,
Oh,
go ahead.
uh,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. So we are to investigate the points of the summoning circle. That is understood. What about what if we find Miss Washington? What would you like us to do if we come across her?
I don't believe you will, as the other group is currently dealing with her. But should you actually run into her, as much as it pains me to say this, I would not hesitate to put her down.
Noted.
I know that is not something that people in their right mind would actually say. We're not the mafia. We don't go around just putting rounds in somebody's head and trying to find ways to justify this, but we believe that she is beyond redemption.
So, because of her, this demon's being summoned?
That is correct, yes.
And we need to destroy the points of the pentagram then?
Correct.
Have we figured out where those points are?
We do. That is one thing we can confirm, and she provides a rough-hewn, drawn map. She says if you overlay this with any typical map of the city, this will give you the locations.
Do we expect? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Do we expect that these points are heavily guarded?
We unfortunately don't know, but I would anticipate that there's going to be some sort of defense. We don't know if it's magical or physical or both.
How do we go about destroying these points? Is it as easy as just wiping off some chalk, or do we need to do something more?
Well, I had hoped that we would have had somebody in the group that had the capability of dealing with summoning wards and circles, but I don't believe we do, unfortunately. So it's going to be up to you to just determine how exactly those are destroyed. At this point, you are probably as knowledgeable as we are as to how to do it.
Understood.
What do we know about the cult?
The cult. Great question. Cornell steps forward. He says, "It's an old cult. Usually stays within the shadows. They're called the Order of the Golden Fly."
Poetic.
Juliet had long since gone by the nickname of the Black Butterfly as the leader of the cult. They are, from what we understand, because they're very secretive, they are very much tied to their angelic host, but we're positive that it is not an angel that they serve.
Maybe a fallen angel then.
Right, that is why we believe that there's such an infernal tie to this.
So, do we know? Are they? Do they have their own abilities? This cult, or are they just duped humans?
I would imagine that they do. I don't know to what degree. Given that they seem to center around a central figurehead as their leader, and that seems to be the one that's the most powerful, I would imagine that they do not have many with the gift.
Okay.
It may be more secular in nature and just, use of the bodies.
Do you know anything about their numbers or their activity?
We unfortunately do not.
Do you know how we could identify them if we see them?
If somebody is actually still actively a part of the order, because from what we understand, they're probably all sacrificed at this point. But if there are still minions about, they should have some sort of emblem that indemnifies them as the Golden Fly.
Emblem.
Okay.
Do we happen to know what that emblem might look like or characteristics of it?
Yeah, it will look like a golden fly. Usually
a golden fly.
Yes.
Okay.
Usually smaller and not, so brazen like a back patch of some sort, but usually some sort of a pin,
like fly size?
Or like an appel. Mm-hmm.
What about tattoos and such? Would that be something that they would identify themselves with too, rather than?
I would assume that could be something, but again, their magic comes more from those who have magic comes more from the worship of their angelic host, not so much tattoo magic. So, I mean, if somebody was overzealous, they perhaps could. I would imagine that would be no. They would probably be wearing it brazenly on the outside.
Do we know if this cult is working with any of the vampires?
We do not. From our understanding, however, we have a good source that believes that they are not. They are probably working completely independent. We also believe that Juliet Washington is the one that's been manipulating not only the werewolves but the vampires and us as well through her own infernal magics. So I highly doubt that they're working with her directly.
Do we know? Do we know what parts of town these other groups are in? Are we likely to?
We do not. They could be anywhere. The only place we have been specifically advised to watch for is 5th and Main.
What's it? 5th and Main.
From what we have been told, and it is, again, it's not something we're investigating. This again, Cornell still speaking. Think of Rumble in the Bronx. The Jets and the Sharks are apparently throwing down there. But don't quote me on that. But that's our understanding of it. We're staying well enough away.
Do we have a way of contacting the group that is going after Juliet Washington, just in case we need to provide them with any information that might be helpful to their?
As of this point, we do not. Phone lines right now are very sketchy at best, and we have also been led to believe that there are others out there that are spying, not only on the major players in the city, but watching for phone lines and getting them tapped so they can respond quickly. We've had a problem with that within the city. Thankfully, it hasn't directly affected us. It seems to have affected more the vampires. It may have been their doing, but.
So would you recommend that once we're out in the field that we maintain radio silence? We should not contact you to let you know of our progress until perhaps the mission is complete?
Unless you have a way of contacting us directly through magical means, I would not risk using phones or
electronics.
Or electronics, correct.
Noted.
So we know that there are werewolves in the city again. And do we have any direct contact with any of them, or do we have any sort of, how do I say, like, can we treat this as we have a common enemy, let's work together and involve them to help?
We know of no such contact. And in fact, prior contact has led to a limited conflict because their sacred lands are very similar to our spiritual nodes. So there seems to be a problem of ownership.
So we're on our own. Where do we start?
Well, that brings us to the current events. Since we don't know that there is a specific timeline, we are leaving it up to you, your group, at your discretion. Pardon me, got the hiccups. To find which points you wish to tackle first, or if you wish to equip, or I don't mean to explore, but follow up of any potential leads leading up to this that you feel might help in your task at hand. We do think time is of the essence, but then again, other reports tell us we're already out of time, so we don't really know. And he pulls open a case, and it's one of those big flip open lids with the, it's got the two wheels in the back, carted around, primarily used for like power tools and supplies and whatnot. Flips the case open, and there's some items in there. And he says, "This is the last of what we have in our armory. Please consider this partial payment. Again, we are still open to any other payment forms that you might seek or desire, but please take these with you as well."
Okay. Oh, what's in the case?
What's in the box?
Is it Gwyneth Paltrow?
There are actually 5 items that are in here. Whoops, did I delete one by mistake? Oh, I only made 4. Whoops. Well, there are 4 right now. There should be 5. Okay, so you see... 1 second. Forgot to get the description of this. Okay, there is a leather-looking pouch, almost like a almost kind of like a water skin. Little on the big side, all tied together with lacing and stitch work and whatnot. So there's that. You see some sort of old-looking submachine gun. You see a bone breastplate, and by bone I mean more like Native American looking, not like full chest piece shitting, but like the almost like it has ribbing that goes across the front. You guys might have seen those. It appears a lot in Hollywood films and whatnot. And then there is a shillelagh.
What?
What is that? I should know that word.
Like a club?
Yeah, it's a classic Irish walking stick.
I think I am eyeing that submachine gun. Does anybody want to?
I won't dispute that, but I'd really like that that chest plate of bones.
So he motions, please, by all means, take whatever it is that you might need.
What's in the... Is that a water pouch?
Oh, he says that. Cornell looks at it and he says, the creator affectionately called it a 6-demon bag.
What does that mean?
He says, I believe the individual who made it watched a few too many Hollywood films. He says, but the intent of it is like potion concoction. If you brew it correctly, you can pour it out into several drinks, and those individuals will see increased perception as well as physical acumen for a short duration.
That's kind of neat.
That is.
Out of character, are these supposed to match? Are these supposed to match with us?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
So I don't know this character well enough to
Nope. Yeah, no,
I
it's
think
all personal
pouch would
preference.
work for my character, but if you want it, you can have it too. It's fine.
I think I'm gonna pick up the gun and start inspecting it.
Okay. So it looks like it is your stereotypical World War II M3 submachine gun. And
Sorry, my camera won't focus.
That's okay. He says that's the grease gun. He says there's nothing super spectacular about it, outside of the fact that it does not need to be serviced, and it will never run out of ammo.
Wow, that's cool.
That is handy.
That is nice. I do better in close quarters. So by all means.
I could do far away or close.
I'm not that athletic. Well, I can be when I need to, but I think I would prefer to stay long distance if that was okay. But if either of you would like to, we can we can decide as a group who gets what. Of these items, I think the only one I really am interested in is the gun. But yeah, we can decide.
Does what again? It Can you repeat that? Sorry, Jerome.
Which one?
I need to write it down. The pouch.
Okay,
yeah.
the 6 demon bag.
Yes.
So for stat purposes, when you brew the concoction, and of course you could pour drinks for up to everybody in the party, for a scene, anybody who drinks one of the drinks is up 3 dice to physicals and +1 to perception. So now when I say +3 to physicals, you have 3 dice that you can add wherever you want to strength, dexterity, or stamina. So you can put them all to 1. You can spread them up, 2 in one, 1 in the other, however you want to do that.
Just for anybody who drinks it?
Just for anybody who drinks it.
Oh, well, that's nifty. Okay. So then that could be for, honestly, anybody, for all of us.
What's the deal with the club?
It's a shillelagh of earthquakes.
What does it mean? You just stomp it down and it just ripples?
Yep, he says within a 10-yard radius, everyone needs to try to keep themselves up. Otherwise, they will be forced to the ground through the tremors of the earth.
30 feet radius?
Mm-hmm.
Does that include the person wielding it?
No.
But anybody who's in the radius effect, though, so such
Correct.
as you guys.
Right.
How long is the stick?
For in-game purposes, it lasts 2 rounds, and it has 3 charges.
Physically, how long is it?
What do you mean physically? How long is it?
Like, how big is the stick?
The stick. The stick is a walking stick, so it's going to go right up just past your hips, usually.
Okay, so it's okay.
Like 3 or 4 feet. Like.
What's special about these bones?
The bone breastplate, he says, grants the wearer obviously some degree of armor as well as increased vitality. So that means while you're wearing it, and so long as it isn't destroyed, you have 2 points of armor, which means any attack that goes to you, you have 2 additional points to soak, that includes aggravated damage. And while you're wearing it, you have 2 additional health levels.
Pretty good, too.
I guess I'll take the stick.
Okay.
I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool.
Kind of look forward to using it.
So, okay. So you're getting the stick. You're getting the machine gun.
If nobody else is,
I don't need it.
Go ahead.
Okay. I have not seen an M3 machine gun. Will this fit into my backpack?
What type of backpack do you have?
Probably like a like one that a college student would have, like so like big enough to hold like pretty heavy books. In fact, it looks pretty heavy already.
You could, because it doesn't have a terribly long barrel. However, you would not be able to. You wouldn't be able to have it armed with the clip. You'd have to take the clip out in order to kind of mash it into your backpack.
Okay, I'd be willing to do that if it meant concealing it. I don't want to walk around with a machine gun on me.
Oh, sure, of course.
Yeah. So I'll put the clip inside my my blazer.
Okay.
With the pouch of the herbs, the tea,
Mm-hmm.
how early can we consume that? Before we basically how long? I know you said that out of character, you said it lasts for a scene, so I'm trying to guess how early do we need to drink it before we go into that type of combat for it to be effective for the full round?
That is a great question, and it leads me to probably something you guys haven't asked yet, which is very appropriate to the game. Most of what you do as sorcerers is pre-prep. So you want to have certain things ready before you go into combat. It's not like, poof.
Okay, do I need to make it first and bring it with me like in a like a canter or something,
Yes.
or a pouch?
Yes,
okay.
you would. So a lot of those things, like the 6-demon bag, you would want to prepare first. Now, going back to what I just said about preparing, so some of your spells you can that you have like rituals and whatnot. Well, rituals can be cast pretty much on the fly. If you have rituals, not everybody does. Those all you need is just the one success. You're good to go. It's done. If you're trying to do it on the fly, you're in essence trying. If you have that type of magic, then it requires a little bit more effort. So what happens with those is you can do them on the fly. You can do them in combat, but depending upon what you're wanting to do is going to require X amount of successes. So if you don't have enough dice to nail those successes in that round, you're still casting the next round. So that's where pre-prep comes into play. Now, if you think you're like, okay, well, I want, like, this is an example that I used with George earlier on today in explaining one of the powers that he has. I'm like, okay, so you say, for example, you wanted to cast your fortune on somebody and make them have bad luck with their weapons. So at its whole, it would you could probably pull it off in one round, but given the dice pool, maybe not. So in this case, what you want to do is you're like, okay, well, I want to prep most of that spell. And what you do is you leave it hanging. And you can do that for one effect. So what you do is you make the roll now while you're not in combat. You're not stressed or anything, like, okay, I kind of want to do this. And I'm going to leave it hanging and it will stay hung for the rest of the night. So when you need it, it's ready to go. But from there on out, you have to actually go through the motions and do everything on the fly. Think of it along the lines as like Doctor Strange, the cinematic. He had several things that he knew right offhand that he could do right away. But then he had like his cloak, who was with him or whatnot, or he knew the spell for the time blade and whatnot, and he had that ready. Otherwise, it took time for him to bring things together with hand gestures and whatnot.
Jerome, remind me what stats we use to cast our spells.
It depends upon what it is you're using.
What do I use to cast my spells? is what I really meant.
Sure.
Yeah, I probably should ask more questions before we
was-
started.
No, you are quite all right.
Intuition and what?
I'm getting it pulled up right now. So, oops.
I don't know what
Here we
some of
go.
these are.
So most of you are going to be using manipulation and something, although not everybody. So Brittany, for you, it is manipulation and intuition.
Yeah, I definitely should have asked more questions before I started.
No, you're fine.
So also, you said mana is basically like blood points, right?
Mana is kind of like blood points, yes.
Slash gnosis.
Yes, it's more of a direct correlation to Gnosis. It works differently for sorcerers, however. It's actually a little bit cooler. Sorcerers are will workers, meaning everything that they do is powered by their will. The catch to that is that you can't burn will for an automatic success. So if you're trying to cast a spell, you got to burn a point of willpower and whatever effect happens. Mana, however, is kind of cool because if you have mana, it allows you to lower the difficulty of what it is you're doing. So if there's something super important that you absolutely need to cast, rather than get the free success, you're lowering the difficulty by however many mana points that you spend. Which if you want to burn like all 4 or 2 or whatever in one round, you're more than welcome to do so.
Okay, so are the paths in the spells?
Yes.
Okay, so like conjuration, for example,
Mm-hmm.
Is that what my weapon is?
Conjuration is actually your path. It works a little bit differently than your typical vampire stuff. That's why you have some rituals on there too, if you note.
Yeah, I saw those, but I thought, I guess I didn't quite understand, like, because you mentioned the rituals take like a round to do.
Yeah, rituals are fast. Rituals, it's like what I explained to George. It's something you already have on tap. You've already figured it out. You're good to go. So all you need to do is roll one success. You got it. You're ready to rock. It's when you try to wing it with something new. Some of your paths that you guys have allow you to do that. So let me go over to conjuring here real quick because that's kind of cool. So conjuration. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Conjuration has a couple of different factors that go into it. Oh, speaking of which, you might want to write this down. You're going to be using dexterity and occult. Now, depending on what you want to do and how quickly you want it to have happen is going to depend upon the number of dice. Now, keep in mind you only have a couple of rituals. What I'm going to read to you is, let's say you just decide to do something on the fly. So you have what's called aspect, or the aspects that are weight, distance, accuracy, and number. In most cases, you're probably only going to do one. I can't imagine you're going to want to have like 15 clips fly out of your pocket for some reason. You're like, aha! But that is kind of what it would do. So in this case, if what you're trying to conjure is less than 1 ounce, let's say you just wanted to be cool and conjure a business card. It's going to take maybe one success. And you produce a business card from your pocket that never was there. You just all, poof, have a business card. Or, hey, oh no, I got a pin. Here you go. Or if you took it all the way up to a 5, right?
4.
Okay, so, well, but
my example.
Okay, so for 4. So something as large as an armoire weighing 1,000 pounds or so can be moved. Humans can be manipulated so long as they're willing, unconscious, or hypnotized. So conjuration is basically the mastery of moving items through space. Which is why one of the effects that you have is kind of that Highlander thing where you can pull a sword out from nowhere.
Yeah.
You already own the sword.
Yeah, I see the long sword.
Yeah. You're just pulling it out from wherever it was and saying, voila, and we lost Missy.
Okay.
There she comes.
Sorry to ask more questions, but what about counter magic and hellfire?
Counter magic is straightforward. Counter magic is something you can use so long as you haven't acted like on a spell. Counter magic is literally anti-magic. Okay. So it like hellfire... if you see somebody using a spell, it doesn't matter if it's blood magic, it doesn't matter if it's a sorcerer, it doesn't matter if it's another werewolf. If you want to say, oh, no, and throw counter magic at them, at this point, you are attempting to thwart whatever it is they're doing. It's literally like, no, you're not going to do that. And then they get a frowny face for the spell as opposed to, whatever it is they're trying to do.
Could not complete this action.
Exactly, yeah.
Fire, is that just fire?
Yes, that is literally what it is.
Okay.
So going back to conjuration real quick, let's say, for example, you see an object 20 feet away. With your conjuration, you could reach into your pocket and have that item materialize without actually physically having to walk over there and go get it.
Okay.
Think David Copperfield. Think the sleight of hand stuff and whatnot. but with more flair.
Okay. So I can take potentially an item from somebody else?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You're like, you see them getting ready to draw a gun. You're like, oh, did you mean this gun? And they look down. Their gun isn't there, and it's in your hand.
Oh, okay. Okay. That
You're
makes
like,
more
oh,
sense.
I'm sorry. Did you need that?
Okay.
Nice.
I just have one question because I think I forgot to ask this before. So, paths and rituals, do both of them use willpower
Yes.
to cast? Okay, so even if I cast a ritual, I am spending a willpower in
You
order
are,
to
yes.
make it.
Mhm.
Okay, just the same way as if I just use my path.
Yes. And before anybody asks, mana and willpower is regained by meditation.
Do we need to worry about running out of willpower? Like, I don't know. Like, what's the detriment?
No
Besides
different than any other game in the White Wolf system. You run out of willpower, you become very compliant and very blasé and bleh and unable to do much of anything.
Okay.
So you definitely don't want to run out of willpower if you can avoid it.
Oh, I feel like I asked you this already, but I forgot. Which of my healing things, like, I still need to do those, prep those beforehand, right?
Which ones? The rituals?
Yeah.
No. Rituals,
Okay.
rituals you've already got.
Okay.
If you're just trying to straight up heal somebody, well, actually, I should say most of your healing is just ritual based. So in that sense, you don't have much to worry about. It's if you're trying to do something outside of the norm of what you already have.
Okay. All right. So I don't need to prep anything then.
No.
Okay. My name's Ariel, by the way.
Oh yeah, we don't know each other's names.
Nope. Everybody is new.
See diddle.
I'm Luna. Good to meet you.
Hi, Luna.
I am Sansa.
Missy, what did you say your character's name was?
Luna.
Luna. Okay. Thank you.
Oh.
Okay. You can call me Mel, or I also go by Omen.
Omen.
So, yes.
You have two names.
Sorry, Brittany, what was your character name?
Ariel.
Ariel.
And Missy, your the dice pool you're going to be rolling for your powers, stamina and occult.
Okay.
I'm going to be right back, sorry. Grab
Okay.
a refill.
Okay. Don't turn off your camera. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, I'll turn to the middle-aged man, and I'll ask him, "How about you? What is your name?"
My nickname is Vortex.
Vortex.
All right.
It's a code name.
Fancy.
Well, as long as we're putting names on the table, I also have a nickname. White Wolf.
White Wolf.
Oh, sorry. Winter Wolf.
Winter Wolf.
She's like, I'm named after the game.
Yeah, I was like, oh, the wrong thing.
My dad owns White Wolf, like a.
Yeah. You can't arrest me. My dad's a lawyer. Not for reals, though. None of my family went to. All good.
Okay. So with that, Cornell and Sandra leave everything up to the two of you. And she says, we wish you the absolute best. I know that we are running into situations where communication will be difficult. She says, if you need a place to hide or retreat for any reason to fall back to, you can come back here. This motorcycle club is relatively safe.
Okay. Will you all be? I assume that as soon as we're off, you will all be leaving. You won't be here if we need to return.
We will not. No, we have other things. This is Sandra speaking. We have other things that we're trying to take care of, if for no other reason than to try to draw attention away from you.
Right.
All right. While everybody thinks about what they're doing as far as prep work, I'm going to look at the map and check out maybe like where the nearest point is.
Okay.
I'll look with you because I'm curious too.
Sure. Okay. Based upon the layout of the pentagram as well as the motorcycle club building that you're at, the closest point to you is actually the if you're looking at the pentagram itself, would be the western point.
Where is the club in relation to the whole star?
The club sits actually outside of the star, but not by much.
But like which area?
It's on the western side of town. Where it sits on a stretch of highway that goes between Portland and Ashland.
Okay.
So, Jerome, if I wanted to try and prep one of my rituals, is that something I would do right now?
Nope. Rituals you do not need to prep. The only thing that you might need to prep is if there's a special spell effect you're trying to do that you don't have a ritual for.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to, I think I'm just gonna make sure that I've got all of my tomes and notebooks and such. Everything is easy for me to grab.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For the pouch, how many servings is it? Like in the sense that, because we're dealing with 5 different points of areas that we're going to have to go to. Is there enough to spread between those different
points?
Scenes?
There is enough for 5 drinks.
That's it.
So you can all drink for one, or you can have one person drink 5 times. Or any facsimile thereof.
So enough for 5 servings in general?
Yes.
Okay.
Have Sandra and Cornell left yet?
Not as of yet, but they're about to.
I'm going to go up and I'm going to ask them, how realistically, how long do you think this might take? We're here more than tonight. We're going to need somewhere to stay. Should we come back here?
If we have the time, yes. That would be our suggestion. We don't know if this is all going to come together in one night or if this is something that's going to go into tomorrow. But if this is something that you need to lay low and rest at, so long as obviously you don't have somebody directly on your heels chasing you, you should be able to come here. There is a measure of protection.
Okay.
And she points to the back. She says that the club tends to keep some extra rooms for their members. I guess they have people that travel the United States and they stop here every so often. So It doesn't seem to be luxurious, but it is livable.
Thank you.
Do we have a vehicle provided, or do we need to secure our transportation on our own?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
No, we can supply you with a truck.
Excellent.
I have resources 1. Do I have my own vehicle?
Yes, presumably. So if you want to take your own vehicle, you're welcome to, or you can take the provided truck, which is basically a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Yeah, I'll as Cornell is getting ready to leave, I'll just walk up to him and very quickly just say, I won't let you down. I'll prove that your faith in me was well placed.
So he smiles and he says, Mel, I'm sure you're gonna do quite all right. Our hopes and our prayers, and that is not figuratively speaking, do go with all of you.
Thank you. And I think beaming, he'll sort of walk back over to the rest of the party, kind of just ready to get up and go.
If any of the warring factions of these vampires are, how do I say, gonna be at any of these points? Like, are they invested in this ritual or this demon summoning as well?
We have no idea what their intention is. We can't imagine that they want the demon, but we don't know enough of them to fully understand what their intentions are.
Vampires.
Do you think they've been? You said they're new to town.
The ones that are coming in that are attacking, I believe, are, yes.
Do you think that they've already been affected by the infernal activity?
They could be. We don't honestly know, and they are obviously far superior when it comes to the physicalness of our nature. So I would strongly suggest retreat if possible.
Yeah, I don't fancy tangling with them.
What I know, based on my occult or I don't know, I guess infernal lore, if vampires are into the infernal, like out of character, I know they're not, but would I know that in character?
Why don't you go ahead and give me an intelligence and occult roll?
Do you say this out loud? Maybe I could find out.
Yeah,
We
well,
could both
I'll
roll.
ask. I wonder, are vampires? Do they associate with infernals or demons? Let me think here for a moment. Do any of you know, by chance? 3 intelligence.
Is that something I could roll too, Jerome?
You most certainly could. Intelligence and occult.
Okay. Could I? Oh yeah, that's a bigger dice pool.
So Brittany got 1.
Hold on. Oh, what was that?
That's his nice wormwood dice tower.
I love
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 6.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I got a 10. Is it the same where the 10s explode?
If you have a 4 and higher in one of those stats,
I have 4 in intelligence.
then yes.
5.
Okay. So as you are speaking out loud to your own question, it was one of those that you needed to speak it out loud to answer your own question.
Oh, yes, they do.
So yes,
no,
they can.
They don't.
They can, just like anybody else. It's not common, and from your understanding, it's frowned upon by their society.
You know what? I think I remember in my studies that it's rare for vampires to be dealing with infernalism. A lot of them tend to be anti-infernal. So I wouldn't think that they would be involved in this. So we hopefully won't encounter them at any of these points. unless they were trying to stop it themselves, if they knew about it.
Do you know a lot about vampires?
My my order has a history with them, with a certain lineage of their I don't know how to describe it.
Interesting.
Not a good history.
You rarely are.
Yeah.
Nothing good comes from vampires.
Well, let's just say that my order tends to try to remain hidden from them. So
Probably better that way.
So you have two options before you at this point. You can jump in and start trying to resolve the issue, or you can try and do some sort of research to lead up to it, to see if there's any clues or something that you can discover, or anything else that you might stumble upon that could help you with your task.
You mean like research from here, or research hitting the pavement?
Potentially hitting the pavement.
do we know these points, like what? Because I know we know where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know what's around them? Are they specific buildings? Are they just open areas? Like what type of locations are they at?
They're all tied to buildings. All the buildings, however, are abandoned. One of which is next to it's an abandoned home that was next to a laundromat. Another one is a gas station. Another one is another abandoned home across town. And in the very center of the points is an abandoned not an office building. Sorry, it's an abandoned apartment store. But each point has some sort of building that's tied to it. So it was, whatever was done was probably done on the inside, not on the outside.
Okay.
Hey Rachel, real quick, have you taken a look at the goals on your character sheet in the back?
Yes, I did, but I didn't quite know what to do with those. Like I know they're goals, but I mean,
No problem.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it.
That's fine.
Do I know if there's any of those rumored areas there?
Not necessarily in relation to the points.
Okay. I mean, this seems like that would be put on the back burner.
I mean, it could. Yeah, I mean,
guess.
it depends upon how you see your character going about this task. If you think
the character very long, so I have no idea.
Sure, no, there's no problem. Do you think you might find something there that could help?
I don't know. Do I, based on my occult knowledge? I don't know.
Sure, go ahead and roll it then.
Same thing, intelligence and occult?
Yeah, difficulty 7.
Okay. That's a 1.
Nope.
But hey, took away one of my 7s. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I got 3 10s on that.
Okay.
I want your dice.
Drop the die.
So, well, going back to what I was saying before.
Okay, so just 5.
Sure. Going back to what I was saying before. If there's any opportunity, like you guys are still kind of going in this blind for the most part. I mean, you have some information where to go, maybe some things, what to do. But this may be, again, it's more of your goal. However, if you want to pose it to everybody, you can. But this may be an opportunity, since you have people with you, which you didn't have before, to perhaps get an in somewhere and find clues or recover information that could help in the task at hand. What you do know of that bullet point, that note you're looking at, of what you do know, you know that they were vampires, which is key. And you know that they were very successful blood magicians.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't quite understand. So I'm trying to look for a chantry.
No, you know that there's a rumored one here.
Do I know where?
Possibly.
Okay, so I guess I'm confused as far as like, do I know if it's occupied or not?
That you
like,
don't
why...
know. That's the thing. Your character, if you look at the note, your character has been pretty much solo this whole time. You're a part of an order, and so you have contact with that order, but you're pretty much the only one here. You actually have a group of people with you right now. This might be an opportunity for you to kill two birds with one stone.
Okay, I'm not sure how to present that. So I don't know how to proceed with that.
Well, I think it might be wise, instead of just barging in there, maybe we should do a little scouting, kind of do a drive around in the neighborhood and
Stake the place out.
see what we can find out just from observation before we run inside.
I think that's a great idea.
Actually, that is a good idea. I think that actually, if you guys are willing to come with me, there's a place that I wanted to check out to see if I might find maybe something that, I don't know, could help us in our quest, I guess.
Is it on the way or near?
I don't know. Is it on the way, Jerome?
Well, you've got 5 points in the city, so, I mean, it's going to be both out of the way and in the way. So it really depends on how you want to go about it.
Okay, where well, where's this place you want to go? Point on the map.
It's rumored to be around, and she'll look on the map and it's like, okay, this is what I remember, and she'll point to somewhere on the map.
Sure.
I don't know where it's at.
So when she points to the map, it's closer to the docks.
The docks?
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of the points?
Let's take a look. I don't believe they are.
That was my real question.
Yeah, I don't believe it is. 1 second. Based upon, I mean, it's not near any one point. I'll put it that way. It's closer to the pentagram. No, sorry. The way it's positioned, there's two points of the star go in a north direction. One northeast, one northwest.
So it's an upside down star.
So it is. It's not near either one of those points. It's actually the direction she's pointing towards is actually closer towards historic Van Point in Portland and the Columbia River.
She's gonna point to the area and like, just so you guys know, I think that this is a chantry that belongs to the Tremere clan. And I think that there could be perhaps things in this chantry that could possibly help us with this, because they are powerful blood magicians. And they could have things or items that we could possibly use to
Are they going to be there?
I don't know. Do I know if it's still active or not? It's just a rumor, right?
Yeah, you have no idea, unfortunately.
To be honest with you, I don't know if it's abandoned or if it's just not there. I know there's not a lot of these Tremere that are in the city, as far as I know, right?
Correct.
Do I know? So it's possible it could be vacant, especially considering if they are warring with this other faction. It's probably empty. because they're probably out preparing or going against this other group of vampires. So this would be actually a pretty good opportunity for us to, or for me, to go there to try and find something that could help us. I know that's a risk.
How useful, or not how useful, would we be able to make use of Tremere magical objects? Is that something that we could do without? I'm assuming that they use blood to fuel their magic. Is that something that we could use?
Rachel, you would know, given your order's lineage. The roots of your lineage come directly from them as well. So while it's old, you could actually attempt to try and use items from there.
I actually believe that I could wield the items from there. My order history stems from the Tremere, and we broke away from them, which is why we try to remain hidden from them. But I can use their magics.
I guess my next question would be, assuming we go to this place and we find the Tremere inside, what would you recommend? Are they friends of yours? Are they foes of yours?
Absolutely not. They are enemies.
Okay.
But the Tremere are few and far between. If there was any of them there, I honestly don't expect their numbers to be high at all. And again, I think that they are occupied with defending their sect, their faction. I have a strong feeling that they will not be there. If this is the right location that I believe it to be.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's either you guys, I mean, I would not want to go there myself, of course. But if we're going to do this, I feel like anything can help. And this could help.
Gaia has called to me, and I know that everything we do here is a risk. So if we can balance that risk with reward and potentially be any more effective, I think we should go.
I am all for it, especially if it means we can take a couple of tools away from some vampire people who don't necessarily need it.
Abilities that can counter their blood magics, if we do encounter them.
Okay.
I truthfully don't expect to, but I have abilities, ironically stemming from that lineage, to use against them. Basically use their own powers against them.
I think I'd much like to see that. Jerome, would I be able to use divination to see? Like, I've not been to this, or I've not been to this location.
Okay.
Yeah, would I be able to use divination to see if this place is occupied or not?
You are looking for good omen, so you're attempting to essentially call upon sight beyond sight.
I pull out the Sword of Omens.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm actually not even sure. So what was the thing you were gonna suggest? Because that might actually be better than what I was thinking.
We also have to look on Jerome's face, like, "Ooh, you're gonna use this."
Yeah. No. So remember, with divination, you're more predicting. It's not so much.
It's not present; it's future.
Right.
Okay. So yeah. So could I
think in layman's terms, magic 8-ball.
Okay. So yeah.
Question: is this gonna happen? Sort of deal.
Shake it.
Are we gonna get our asses kicked by Tremere?
Yeah.
Check again later.
Yeah. Would it be something like that? Would I phrase it like will we meet the Tremere in their chantry? Is that how it would be worded?
That is specific enough. You absolutely could try that.
Okay.
So you are trying to. Let's see. So that's going to be one success. You are trying to be as accurate as possible.
I've got the page. I printed out all of the stuff, so
but
it's
you want a simple yes or no because you're trying to keep it low. You are going to need to give me 4 successes.
okay, and it's perception and fortune telling. Yes?
Perception and fortune telling, yes.
Okay, and for cost it says none, so I'm assuming this doesn't use a willpower to do this, right?
You are correct.
Okay, cool.
So you sit down and at this point, so what you're trying to do essentially is you're trying to you are essentially trying to scry into the future. You are looking into a pool of water and hoping that you come up with a vision of the future.
Okay. Its difficulty. What is my difficulty?
Your difficulty is going to be 7.
7. Okay. That changes. No, I only got 3 successes.
3 successes? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're still trying to discern something from the water. He seems to be in heavy meditation at this point. Amongst his reflection in the water.
That's a familiar sight.
Why don't you go ahead and roll again? At this point, you kind of spent 15 minutes. You're giving it your all.
Okay. Okay, I got it that time. 4 successes.
Okay. So you are asking for a specific answer, and will you encounter Tremere on your way to this chantry? You have a strong suspicion that that's a yes. You can feel the urging in your spirit that tells you signs point to yes. But that obviously doesn't tell you how many, doesn't tell you what specifically.
Okay. I think that there is a very strong possibility if we go to this place, we will encounter the Tremere there. Do you know how strong their numbers are?
As I said, Tremere are pretty rare.
Okay.
But how strong is your sense that we will encounter them? I mean, are you able to figure out how many there could be?
I'm a little new to this kind of site, so I don't know the numbers. All I get a sense is that at some point during this trip with involving the Chantry, we will encounter at least one Tremere. I don't know I don't know their numbers, unfortunately, but at least knowing that we will come across them gives us time to prepare. I'm assuming we
there
don't.
are going to be some there. Are you guys still willing to join or still help?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I think Portland deserves a couple fewer vampires.
This would be a good opportunity to take some out. And my order would certainly be happy as shit.
Jerome, do I know much about Tremere?
Some of the basics, yeah.
Okay. Just enough to know that this is a bad idea, probably.
Anything you remember is a bad idea.
Yeah, I like how our two mission givers were like, if you see any vampires, definitely leave them alone, run away. And we're like, vampire nest. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's
So how many, in general, how many a chantry would typically hold for Tremere?
That you wouldn't know. If it's anything like the way your order used to be set up, because you guys still keep records of what the what chantries and whatnot look like back then. It's if it was like a small school, there could be several.
And this location that it's at, is it a relatively large location?
The area that you're looking at on the map is a lot of.
All right.
There are a lot of parks.
Of course,
Thank you for
it's
the
always
follow.
about you, isn't it?
Okay.
Is it a wooden building / a flammable building?
You don't know the building exactly. You just know the area that it's in.
Mhm. Well, I got the earthquake stick.
I assume that there's a phone around here, so I'm gonna bring up the area and see if there's anything on Google Street View.
What's that? Oh, you just pulls up. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Google it.
Google
Yeah.
it.
I'm gonna Google it and see if there's any Street View.
Okay. Hang on a second. Todd's apparently sending questions in the chat. Okay, so when you do Google Earth and you poke around, there's a lot of parks in the area. You end up seeing that there's some small lakes. There's the Portland Metropolis or Metropolitan Expo Center in that area. There's some office buildings kind of run along the side near the river. So it could be anywhere within that area. There's also the Golf Country Club. It's off in that section.
I'm gonna go and show everybody what I'm looking at this point.
You said it's near the docks, right?
Yes.
So most buildings near docks are what? Wood, metal, in between, both?
Could be,
I'm
yeah.
assuming any
Stone,
building is
cement.
pretty flammable in general. But I would expect them to have perhaps some kind of ward to get into it. Which, would my counter magic undo those? If they have wards, I can get past them.
It's essentially taking a hammer to a window, but you absolutely could. As opposed to just triggering them, you'd just be, sim salabim and then fry it.
Well, I kind of look at it as I don't know if you guys have watched The Magicians at all. I kind of look at it as undoing a ward that's in front of a door where I kind of find the point of like part of that sort of map on there and kind of pull it out, and then the whole thing kind of just falls in that sense. You should watch The Magicians. It's really good. Yeah. So yeah, I expect there to be wards, but I feel very confident that I can get past them.
That's good news.
Well, all right. I mean, I'm mostly here to keep you guys alive, so.
Shall we get moving?
So Perhaps maybe we should also take some stakes along with us just in case.
Not a bad idea.
That is a good idea.
Is there anything here that we could use to like fashion into stakes, or did they leave us with anything that like stakes in the box?
Yeah, that's not a problem. They can bring up, broken pieces of wood or something you guys can whittle down temporarily to make them. That's not an issue.
Hell, even a pencil would work if you stab it in the right place. Like,
but yeah, they provide you guys with a couple pieces of wood that you whittle down. So you collectively, you guys have got 3 stakes.
let's hope there's only 3 vampires. Just so you know, they're also very, very afraid of fire, which I can also conjure.
Well, that's nice. It's good.
All right.
So I guess
Let's do this.
go check that out first.
Who's driving?
I mean, they gave us a truck.
Mhm.
We can take that. I have a car. You have what?
I have 1 point in drive.
Most of us
As do
probably.
I.
Let me look at
Same.
mine just in case.
I have 1
Just means
point
we
in
won't
drive.
fall off a cliff. Yeah, we have 1 point in drive. We can just drive. It's just no special maneuvers.
Yeah, no one said you had to go drifting.
Yet.
Yeah.
Should I?
It'd be really cool if we did, though.
Should I wait to mix up this potion then? How long does the potion last? I guess not the potion, the tea. Like as long as I prepare it, I can use it any time.
Yep.
Or we can use it any time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Since I don't know where we're going after this, I'm expecting us. Are we gonna? Okay, if we survive this, which I'm confident we will, are we going to go to one of those points then?
I would like to at least scope out one, perhaps sort of see what we're up against. I mean,
Then take a few minutes to prepare this tea. From what I can see, and she kind of looks around the herbs in it and stuff, it looks like it'll make about enough for 5 doses. Whether that's everybody take one or one person take several.
And what does it do again?
It increases your perception ability, from what I can gather, and then it also allows you to build your strength, dexterity, or stamina.
Basically, you get 3 points to divide
Yeah.
up however you want in your physicals.
Yeah, I was trying to explain it in character.
Sure.
on
Yeah,
that.
no problem.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or
But
as
it
Egg
should
Chen
be
would
made
say,
now. Ahead of
wind,
time.
fire, all that stuff.
All right, so she'll go and I don't know. I'm sure there's water around or something that she could fashion the brew for, right?
Absolutely, yes. It's going to take you.
Is there like a canter or something?
Yeah,
or
it's going to take you about 30 minutes
water bottle?
to prep everything for it. And then when you've prepped it, you actually put it back in the 6 demon bag, and you just pour it from there.
Oh, okay, cool. That could be like someone just taking a swig out of it, right?
Mhm.
We don't have to pour it in. That could just be swig 1, swig 2, 5.
Right.
You know. Okay.
As long as you guys don't mind swapping spit.
Caring is caring.
I have a thermos. I'll just-
Don't just don't backwash. We'll be fine.
Okay.
So who is going to drive the Grand Cherokee?
I will.
Okay.
Direct on where to go.
So everybody climbs
Roll up
in
the
at this
map.
point.
Yeah.
You already kind of know where it is you're going. The north part of Portland, near the Columbia River. And this is where hopefully Todd decides to come in.
I hope he does.
I hope he
I
does.
really want him a part of this.
So as you were driving and kind of getting in the area, since I didn't catch what he wanted to call his character's name, so I'm just calling him by his code name right now, Vortex.
I like that. Vortex.
He starts in mid-drive when you guys are driving along. You're not going too terribly fast, just kind of cruising the neighborhood. He starts to focus himself. And as he starts looking around, you can see that there is a light glow to his eyes. Not like blazing sort of like Hollywood effect, but just there's a little bit of almost a cat-like reflection. Although there's no light shining on his eyes, so it's got a little bit of a.
Todd's character's with us already?
Yes, he's been with you guys.
Oh.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
It's just quiet.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah, so he has been with you guys. So he's kind of focused, and he's like looking around, and he starts like doing this with his hand, like tracing something out like from nowhere, and he's like abruptly yells to turn left, and of course he joins.
Hi.
Yay!
Yay!
Where's the you came?
I'm glad to be here.
Missed a lot of good stuff.
Oh no.
Let me go ahead and adjust everything real fast.
Basically, we just sat around and introduced ourselves and described ourselves, and then we were briefed on what we're supposed to do, and then
Brittany's character got ripped in half.
Explain to him
Yeah,
kind of a
there's that.
recap what we need to do. So basically we were called together essentially to stop a demon summoning as a result of a woman by the name of Juliet Washington. She has gifts like us. And basically she disappeared for a while, but she came back basically with a vengeance as basically a leader of a cult.
Oh, okay.
And this cult now at her leading or her behest or whatever is trying to summon a demon. And there are 4 points in the shape of a pentagram around the city. And our goal basically is to stop
But
this summoning.
5 points like a pentagram, not
That'd be
4.
5 points.
5 points. Yes.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 5 points, whatever. It's
Oh
a
my
star.
God.
It's a star. All these points of the star. Basically we have to basically just, I'm guessing what is it, destroy or interrupt each point in order to prevent the summoning from happening.
Okay.
We know in character that there's currently a siege going on between 2 warring factions of vampires, which we're guessing is the Camarilla and the Sabbat.
Okay.
There are also werewolves in the city as well. We don't know where they are, what they're doing, but we know that they're really not our friends. The cult is it's called the Order of the Golden Fly, and basically they're tied to an angelic host, which isn't a actual angel. It's more like a fallen angel type deal. Not a good thing. And they have the emblem of basically like a golden fly or whatever that kind of identifies them as being part of this. No real tattoos that would do that, but basically just more of a pin or sort of emblem in some fashion on their person.
Okay.
I did write down something about 5th and Main, but I don't know 100% about what that was for.
5th and Main was. It was an
Where we
area
have
they
to stay
told us.
away from.
Yeah, it was
What?
it was an area where they were rumbling. I guess it's like.
So
Yeah.
like the battle showdown area sort of deal.
Yeah, I guess the vampires seem to be fighting in that area, so it's best that we avoid it. We're also not supposed to use our phones.
Yes, stay away from electronics. Basically, once we leave here, we're kind of on our own. However, we can come back here as sort of a rest place if what we're doing kind of goes into sort of the next day, I guess. They gave us basically some items from the armory, which was basically a submachine gun that never depletes ammo or something. There's a chest plate, a bone chest plate, which increases your armor by 2 and vitality. There's an Irish walking stick, which is basically like an earthquake sort of weapon in that if you pound it down, like, slam it down, it presents a 30-foot radius of basically tremors or something like that. There's also a pouch that has basically 5 servings or 5 doses of some sort of basically brew that kind of invigorates us. It increases our perception by 1, and it gives us up to 3 additional die that we can use towards either strength, dex, or stamina, and we can choose how we want to divvy it up, either all in one or separate them, however you choose. We only have 5 servings of that, so whether that's 1 per person or that is 1 person taking multiple, it's however we do it. I did have to prepare that beforehand. So basically it's in this thing called a 6 demon bag, and how we do it is we just take a swig out of it, and that's like our portion or whatever.
Okay.
P.S. I have the walking stick, but if you want it, you can have it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Earthquake stick.
What was
Oh, it's a walking stick, like
It's a shillelagh.
An Irish walking stick.
Okay.
So there's the machine gun, the bag.
Chest plate. There's 4 things, right? It's a submachine, it's the machine gun, the breastplate, the Irish walking stick, and the pouch.
I thought there was 5.
There's supposed to be 5. I only wrote down 4.
Oh.
Whoops.
Okay.
That was my bad. So.
Okay. And then
Moving forward.
If
A
you
holy
want,
hand grenade.
you can have it.
There you go. Yep.
The holy hand grenade.
The holy hand grenade of Antioch.
The holy hand grenade. Brother Maynard, please bring out the holy hand grenade.
And read from the Book of Armaments.
About Book of Armaments, it says.
So I can keep explaining, guys, if you want. I hope I'm explaining it correctly.
You are.
With all this. Okay. So my character is part of an order that stems from the Tremere clan. We broke away, and we're our own sort of order. We are very anti-Tremere, but we also have their lineage, which means that I have a lot of their magics as well, or that I can wield some of their abilities, or have that sort of. I have rituals and stuff that will help against them. I suggested us going to what I know to be a rumored Tremere chantry in hopes of recovering some sort of item or something that could help us in our quest of these 5 points to destroy them. The Tremere are strong blood magicians, and because of my history with them, I can utilize that and be able to basically wield whatever they might have as part of that.
So you guys have all been in character, have all met now, and you've been hanging out for a while, right?
Yes.
What, an hour or 2?
Okay, and then were you also like I missed something? We were like
You were with us.
What's that?
You were there.
I was there.
Yes.
Technically, you were, which is why we're going over this.
Oh, geez. Okay.
But so what ended up happening, where you just came in, where you just chimed in. So they were out driving. She doesn't know the location of the chantry. She just knows. You guys
agreed to come with me and help.
She knows the vicinity, and at this point they're trying to like scope it out to see if they could spot it. You ended up using your mana manipulation and spotted a ley line.
Okay.
And so you have told the driver just abruptly, you blurted out, turn left.
Which is Ariel.
Yes, Ariel, why don't you go ahead, since you were surprised, give me a dexterity and drive check.
Oh, should we tell him our names, our character names?
Yeah, that'll help. I've already met you in character.
Well, my name is Sansa.
Okay, so Rachel.
And I posted a picture of my character in the chat. She's got black hair, very pale skin, dark blue, green eyes, slender, 5'5", wears all black most of the time, in some form or another.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Who else we got?
My character's name is Luna. I think a quick description would maybe be a goth hippie.
Okay.
But dark hair, dark eyes, makeup like mine.
I probably should. So Jerome, it's not going to work without what I was asking. Then, if I've already met everybody and you've been role playing me as somebody else, then right?
He hasn't actually said anything as your character.
Nope. Outside of the brief description.
We didn't even know that he was actually technically you were there until he started rolling and saying, "Oh, here, go here." So we don't know anything
I did
about
say
your
up front when you guys first got together that he was there as well, but I didn't say anything. In
thought he was an NPC.
That's fine.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Did.
George, what's your character's name?
At the time, he was an NPC.
Yeah. My name is Mel, or Omen. I'm good with being called Omen. He's got I drew a picture, I put it in our chat, but he's glasses, short cut hair, neat, like very put together, but also like kind of a square.
Okay, I see you.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Rachel too. Okay.
Yep.
And then Brittany, what's your name?
My name's Ariel. I'm kind of tallish, athletic, not really like remarkable in appearance, just kind of casual, sporty looking.
Okay. So I had a character concept that I had in mind, but can I don't know what to
whatever
do.
you want. We are open. Trust me.
So what's that?
Spill it.
Well,
yeah, I want to hear it.
I'm an old man.
That's okay.
Sure, if that's what you want to be, that's fine.
You're a spry old man.
Yeah.
Maybe you need this walking stick.
Yeah. I'm in my mid-70s.
Wow. Okay.
And
that's
so,
why you have the glasses.
Yeah, head glasses, then little hat. I got my little suspenders and everything going on. My name is Lawrence. When I first met you, I would have introduced you by my maybe I don't know, maybe it's a little formal. I'm just Lawrence Emerson III. I've got I'm not like a medium build kind of thing, I'm not, I'm older, but I'm not like decrepit, per se. I'm proud of what I know. But I also like Sandra. Have they met Sandra or
Sandra and Cornell were there briefing us.
Okay, so like I am like very fond of Sandra. Like like almost hero worship kind of like of Sandra. So when she speaks, you could probably see that in my face the way I look at her and everything. It's that whole thing of if I was just 30 years younger, So that's,
I've still got the magic in me.
Once Omen introduced himself as Omen, I might have kind of on the sly, kind of been like, I like that Omen. That's a nice name. You can call me Vortex if you want to.
All right.
We're gonna go by code names and everything like that.
So Brittany, what'd you roll?
I got 1 success.
All right. So
I got
3,
but I got 2 1s also.
Oh, all right. Well, you recovered, so you were not ready for somebody to, in the back seat to suddenly.
Eyes were going.
Yeah, they just blurt out real quick, turn left, which you instinctively did. But you end up blowing through a red light, and a car comes to a screeching halt and just laying on the horn as you fly on by and jerking the wheel, trying to recover. But you weren't going terribly fast. It's not like you're swerving or anything. It was just more of a herky jerky motion and immediate tension.
Under the oh shit handle.
Woman, don't kill us.
Little notice next time.
Well, the ley line's right here. I wasn't. I saw it all of a sudden, so I just wanted to make sure that you were following. Good job turning. Good, but sorry. I just saw it.
Okay, where to next?
Just keep going this direction for a bit. How far up does it go, Jerome?
At this point, you follow you end up following the line to its ending point. You don't see where exactly it's ending, but it does end in a section of buildings 2 blocks down from where you made the turn.
Okay, so it's about 2 blocks up there.
Would the chantry be placed on the ley lines? Is that something that they might be interested in?
Is that something that I would know? Or
collectively,
he and I would know?
Well, okay, so just with your base occult knowledge, because this is something all of you would know, ley lines are important. They're basically, think of it, they're like rivers of magic. For the truest sense of the word, that's literally what they are. It's
I
just
saw Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Well, okay,
the
so
new one.
in that sense. So, knowing that, and knowing that vampires have magic as well, it stands to reason that yes, this would be, it's probably around here someplace, since you already had an indication that the chantry is probably around here somewhere. Now it's just a matter of breaking down its magical defense to actually see it.
Is there anything that we can do magically to try to look into that?
Yes, I can do counter magic.
Would it be possible for me to use divination to try to narrow it down?
Divination is more for predicting. So you would, so in this case you would be like, "Will I find it?" Shake, 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 shake. Think of the magic 8-ball for you.
Okay.
Would you tell the 8-ball, "Am I going to find it?" You're going to shake it, and it's going to tell you, "Yeah, you probably will," or sign, and ask later or something. That's the type of responses you're looking for at this point. So
okay,
you may be able to find it, but shaking the magic 8-ball won't exactly give it to you.
Question.
Okay.
My necklace
Mm-hmm.
basically gets warm when there are Tremere around. Or vampires in general.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing. Do I start feeling it heat up at all as we get closer?
My 8-ball says cannot foretell now.
Do you have one, an actual magic 8-ball?
Yes, she just pulled it up.
Oh, snap.
So much smaller than I remember them being. I remember them being huge.
Yeah, same here.
I haven't seen one of those in like a decade.
Yeah, so
Make all my life decisions with it.
your necklace is warm.
We're getting close. And she kind of is kind of holding her necklace. You can see. And she's kind of concentrating. They're around.
Great. Just great.
Now, question, does it get warmer, or I'm assuming it doesn't get brighter, but it gets sort of warmer the closer we get to them?
No, it's not
just
like
in general.
Yeah, just in general.
The sting of necklaces.
Yep. Think Highlander the Gathering. You don't necessarily know where they're at, but you get that unnerving sensation of, oh crap, they're nearby.
I'm gonna pull
They're close.
I'm gonna pull the machine gun out of the backpack, which I've had seated between my feet. I'm gonna pull the machine gun out, pull out the clip, and then just get it at least in there. I'm not gonna cock it yet, but just as if they're in the area, I want to be ready.
Okay.
Are we able to as we get closer, are we able to pinpoint what building it is at all based on the ley lines?
At this point, well, no. At this point, because the ley line, it doesn't go directly to a building; it just kind of goes to an area and just stops. So the buildings that you have here, one looks like it was probably some sort of, maybe fast food restaurant at one point in time. Another one is looks like a working library. Really, really small though. And then the other one is what appears to be a warehouse.
Does the fast food restaurant, does it look abandoned or does it look closed? Or
Yeah, it's closed down.
Okay.
Recent closure too. It looks like it was probably some sort of KFC.
Is there any way for me to look at these buildings and see which one it could be based on the fact that they might have wards?
I don't believe anybody has that type of power. However, if Lawrence wants to try and use his mana manipulation, he may be able to find a source of magic.
Indeed, I do. Hold on.
That would help, actually. Just pinpoint the source of magic, and then we'll usually
a good indicator.
Mm-hmm.
What am I rolling for that?
Dice.
Right, but how many? Like, what am I?
No, I know.
If you do that, I have to go pee. I'll be right back.
I have 17 successes. Is that enough?
Yay!
Hey, we did it.
I just rolled all my dice.
Here we go. So you were going to be rolling manipulation and occult. If you were going to make sure you spend a point of willpower too.
So Jerome, I should ask this too. So if I'm going to do one of my rituals, especially one that like helps people succeed and stuff, I should call that before they make their roll, before
you absolutely should, yes.
Okay. Yeah. I've not done it before, so I wanted to make sure that etiquette wise I'm not like, oh, I want to cast the thing. I'm going to I want to try casting a bless on Lawrence, just so it'll help him like sort of pinpoint our quarry.
Okay, so you're doing what again?
I want to. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to just do the ritual of Blessed Be. Just to give him a -1 difficulty for the scene. I think that's probably the easiest thing to do.
Okay. So spend 1 willpower. Go ahead and roll your dice pool, and the difficulty should be on your character sheet.
Okay, difficulty 6. And is it just fortune?
No, it's not. Remember, it's not fortune. It's your dice pool that you're going to be using for fortune.
Oh, right. I've got it right here. Okay. That is those ones. And then that is these ones. It's a very interesting stat that is associated with this one. Okay, that is... The 1 eats that, but that is...
All you need is 1 success.
Oh, well then, yeah, I got 3 successes.
You are good. Okay. So, Todd, you were in the process of going through your spell and getting ready to investigate the mana of the location, and you feel a little bit blessed. Do you feel a little bit more energetic, kind of a little bit of a pep to your step? You at this point you're going to be rolling your what do we say, manipulation occult?
Manipulation occult, yeah.
Yeah. So your manipulation occult base would be 6, -1 for an area of strong mana, minus another 1 because you were blessed.
Oh.
So difficulty 4.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 successes, but I have a 1, so that brings it down to 4.
Oh darn!
One of those is a 10. Do I get to re-roll the 10?
Do you have a 4 or higher in either your manipulation or occult?
Yeah.
Then go ahead.
All right. All right. So 4 successes.
All right, cool. Okay, so at this point, he's kind of following around with his stick at this point, and is not really in meditation, more like it's like he's looking at things you guys can't readily see. He's clearly seeing something you don't. And Todd, when you were looking around, you see that it's emanating from the library.
All right. There's some magic coming out of this library over here. I don't think it's not the it's not the fast food place. It's definitely the library.
All right, I'm gonna kind of casually drive around the block just to get an idea of what we're looking at as far as entrances and defenses or whatever.
Okay. The area looks like.
Also, what time is it?
At this point, it is evening time, so you're looking at 8.
Okay.
I'm assuming that I probably stepped out of the car with George. When he stepped out, I probably stepped out in order to do.
Oh, are they outside of the car?
He wouldn't need to be to investigate this.
Oh, okay. George, Omen said he stepped out, so I didn't know if I would just step out after him or not.
Oh, no, okay. I could probably have stayed in the car just because like my magic, you see me pull like a notebook out of my bag, and I pull out like one pen, put it back, pull out another pen, and then I just start writing like a really complicated mathematical equation that's just like, and I'm just muttering to myself. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily need to leave the car for that.
So we'll say you guys remain in the car, and so you're driving around the neighborhood itself. It really isn't any residencies around here. The next street over is the street that runs lengthways along the river.
I don't know. What do you think? Is there a parking lot somewhere?
Is there more than one door to the library, or is there a back door or anything like that?
There's the only parking lot that's here is to the warehouse, so you could park there. Otherwise, you'd want to park in the street.
Is the library still open?
No.
No? Okay.
Are there any other cars parked around?
No.
Oh. Great.
I'm sorry.
That's not conspicuous at all.
Can we tell how tall it like this is like a multi-level library? Is this like one-story building?
One story. Yeah,
One
it's
story?
a small little library, little bookstore.
Okay. So I'm guessing they're probably. Oh.
Can we see if, like, by driving by, if there are any window coverings, like curtains, or are those open?
I'm sorry, what?
When we drive by, can we see if there's any windows that don't have a covering, like shades or a curtain, where we could peer in?
Yeah, no, you still could. It has bars across it, but you could still peer in.
And there's no movement inside.
No, when you guys peek on the inside, assuming Luna does it because she was the one that brought it up. When you peek in the inside, it looks like a quaint little bookstore. Probably a lot of stuff in there looks to be secondhand. / library, but most of it does not look like they do the bestsellers sort of thing. So this is all your off shelf type books, lower print runs, new age sort of thing.
The good stuff.
For you guys, the good stuff.
So it's a bookstore, not a library, or is it an actual like public library?
It's not a public library, no.
So it's just a
Right.
bookstore.
Well, we'll say it's a bookstore. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think you might want to park so that we can leave quickly if we need to. So I don't know about that parking lot over there.
Well, I suppose
Because there's no other cars around, so it doesn't. I don't think it matters where we park. I just want to be
there's,
able to leave.
if there's anyone here, they're gonna find us sooner or later. All right, I guess I'll just park on the street in a sort of easy getaway area.
Okay, not a problem. On the other side of the street, you end up seeing, and it runs lengthways. There is a yard where it looks like they drop off a bunch of trucks and trailers.
Maybe we should park over there.
That's not a bad idea.
As long as we can get in now quickly.
I guess I'm backing in.
Okay. So you park over where the trucks and trailers all stop off. You'd have to pull over the side of the road. It's a private lot, but I mean you could at least park over there. From there, it's just a walk across the two lanes. It's not a big road.
Do you guys mind if I take the walking stick? My back's not what it used to be.
No, by all means, you're welcome to it.
Is there anything magical about? I'm going to use my mana manipulation and see. Is there anything magical about the walking stick here? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, you were told it's a shillelagh of earthquakes.
Oh my god!
Yeah, basically, you literally just slam it down, and then it just tremors out in a 30-foot radius.
It's got 2 charges,
which means that it would affect us too. FYI.
It's a you shall not pass stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yep.
So when we're underground, that's the perfect time to do it.
Yes, of course.
In a bookstore, lots of things on shelves. Actually, that would be kind of dope.
If I die, I want it to be in a mountain of books.
When I die, that's how it's going to happen.
Okay. Well, I mean, you walk across the street there again, go back up to the library or bookstore.
Is it possible to be stealthy? I mean,
it is always possible to try and be stealthy.
Yeah. Okay.
Gonna keep to the shadows.
I don't have ability.
I mean, I don't have any special ability to be stealthy, but I would at least like to try to be stealthy.
Sure. So if anybody wants to be try to go quietly, you could go Dex and Stealth.
Very sneaky.
But you can tell the place is closed. It's hours, or it's.
I don't have anything in Stealth. What?
Okay.
I miss Remus with his 5 in Dex.
Only rolling 3, so What's the difficulty? 6?
6.
Oh, 2.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing. I failed.
I have 1.
1.
Okay. Sure. So you guys are being reasonably quiet, or trying to be.
Yeah, I got 0, so
He's not really trying. He's just kind of walking.
I go halfway across the street and I just start coughing.
I go over to help you. Are you okay? Do you need me to?
I'm all right. It's just a snide air.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just cross back over the street.
How are we getting in? Anybody? I mean, we're just gonna knock on the door, or does somebody know how to pick a lock?
What would that be?
Probably warded. Is the bookstore still open? Can we see if there's activity or anything?
The bookstore is not open.
How late is it?
8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock?
Probably
Okay.
closer to 8:30
Oh,
at
they
this
close
point.
early. Okay.
It took me half an hour to find that parking spot.
Well, you cruised around the area to check their quote-unquote defenses. Then you went to go find a parking spot, and then everybody sneakily crossed the street while the old man coughed.
Sorry.
Yeah. They picked the right people for this job.
Yes, they did.
What?
My pocket. Let me get my lozenge. Does anybody else want a lozenge? I've got extra.
If you have any Werther's originals, I wouldn't mind one of those.
I do have a Werther's original right here. This is what I carry.
I didn't have to. I didn't have to use a spell to guess that you might have them.
Do you have any crushed up? What are they called? Tissues in your bag or in your pockets?
I do have some tissues. Did you need a tissue or a handkerchief?
Maybe later. I mean, I might need them.
Jerome, what would it be to pick a lock? Because I don't see larceny on my sheet as like an option. So what would that be?
Oh yeah, larceny.
Right. In this case, it would be Dex and larceny.
Okay, so if it's not on here, then that means I'm going.
That is correct.
It's not even an option for larceny on here.
Right.
Okay.
How about streetwise?
Yeah.
Nope.
What, since it's not on the sheet, we're not allowed to pick locks?
You can still try. You got dexterity.
Really? Okay.
But you do have somebody else here who might be able to assist you with that.
Can anyone pick locks?
No, not picking locks, but they aren't limited to their size and shape.
Do I see any openings? How do I? Is there a mail slot in the door? Okay, you guys just stand back real quick.
Before she does that, can I check that there are wards on this front door?
You absolutely can. Go ahead and give me a wits, and I think awareness is actually on that character sheet. It is.
Difficulty 6?
Difficulty 7.
Oh, okay. Well, I got 2 then.
Okay.
Can't roll at 10 because I don't have a 4.
You don't see it, but you know it's there. You're not certain what it is. It clearly isn't something repelling you, because that would be painfully obvious. So if you had to take a guess,
kind of an alarm.
Yeah, it's probably some kind of an alarm.
Okay, hold on. Before you do that, I'm pretty sure this door is warded. So, can I roll my counter magic then?
You sure can.
So how does that work for this? I just roll counter magic and intelligence, or?
No. 1 second. Write this down too, just in case. That way I don't have to keep bouncing back between 2 books.
Okay, I'll just put counter magic, how it works.
Where did it go? That's D. Advanced conjuration, and that's not it. Damn it. What? No, am I on the right one? No, I guess not. Okay.
Before we go inside, my abilities are kind of limited once we get inside. I mean, I work really well in outside spaces, just to make sure you guys know.
All right, we'll watch out for you.
Big bada boom. So I can't find that damn thing. The problem is with it is it's only like a couple paragraphs because it doesn't really have anything outside of it. Basically counters everything. So go ahead and roll your. We're going to do manipulation and occult. And if I find it and it's supposed to be different, then I can do it that way later on.
Is it on page 63?
I got 2.
Of the Sorcerer of Ice book?
No, not that one. That one works a little bit differently, I think.
Okay.
And you got 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
8 and a 10. Can't re-roll though.
Could have swore it was in this one right here, but it's not. Okay, so you start to see Rachel's character start making some hand gestures, and almost as if she is, in a very Doctor Strange sort of way, like sculpting something out of nothing in front of you, in which you're used to. It's the arcane energies, and then when she gets done, you see this fizzling effect of like some snapping and crackling, not super loud, but it's like sort of crackling away from the door.
You would get it from the magicians when they undo wards. They find like a little point in there and they pull it out, and then it breaks down. That's kind of what happens from the magicians.
Great show, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, so now can I tell if there's any additional wards behind that one?
No, not right now.
Okay. So she kind of steps back and looks to I forgot your character name. Luna. Okay. I think you're good now.
Thanks. So I guess one of you guys just throw me through the mail slot. And so with that, I want to transform into a gerbil.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Have we seen this before?
Nope.
And it was stamina and occult.
Yes.
Ooh.
Jerome, could I keep an eye out just to make sure that we're doing this and there's not just 2 vampires?
Absolutely.
Standing in front of the door?
Go ahead and give me a perception and alertness check.
I have 2 successes.
Okay. So it's not instantaneous, but she's basically, you see her like losing form and just shrink, starting to shrink down to like half the size that she was at. Her clothes falling all over the place as she's getting all kinds of hair.
How, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how close is it to an Animorphs book cover?
No.
I'm writing it down.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. No, I'm thinking more Manimal. the 80s TV show. No, I'm just kidding. Manimal was god awful. Don't ever look it up.
Too late.
Bad show. So we backtracking. We know about the vampires in town. We know that there's werewolves in town as well. Is that right? Is that what I understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So she's changing into his gerbil, and I'm like, well, that's pretty interesting. We've got werewolves and gerbils.
Go ahead and roll again.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and I got 4 successes for peep in danger.
Okay. So at the end of this round, she ends up finalizing, and she's just this little gerbil in a pile of clothing and what equipment she brought with her.
I guess I'll hold her up to the mail slot.
Omen, do you mind picking up her clothes for her?
Oh yes, I'm already folding them up perfectly.
Okay.
I'd pick them up. It's my sciatica.
It's my lumbago.
My lumbago.
Can I cure old age? I probably can, can't I?
No, unfortunately, you cannot.
You can cure my sciatica, though.
Probably.
That you probably could do.
Probably could.
So, at this point, she ends up scurrying through the mail slot right there, drop down on the other side, and I take it you just turn back. to open the door, or what?
Yeah, I turned back to open the door.
Okay. So she comes back almost instantaneously. Now the spell is completed.
I'm going to whisper to the mail slot, do you want Owen to shove some of your clothes inside?
My appearance should not be offensive to anyone, but if it is, I'm happy to dress elsewhere.
No, you're okay.
Okay.
So she
open the door and
unlatches the door and opens it up for you guys, and she's just standing there in the nude.
I think Omen is like he's like not looking at her as he like hands the clothes over. He's
okay.
You should be proud.
Yeah, he's not offended. He's just very like red in the face.
Little lady, if I could just
bashful.
for you, but I don't know if I'm looking fine. Keep it in shape.
Yeah, since you guys are getting a good look at what God has blessed her with, she is very much the outdoorsy woman. She's got a good build on her, tone. You know, she's clearly outside a lot. You know, which is reflected in the pigmentation of her skin. You know, she's got calluses on her hands, so she ain't no daisy.
Who among us are?
So you go off to the side, I guess, and start getting dressed. When you get in here, there's like 2 aisles, sort of. There's like, you know, I don't want to say a shelf, where there's a front desk where you'd ring things up, like a cashier and whatnot, with a small display sitting on it. Old looking cash register, still has the old school like tape and whatnot. There's maybe there's of the 2 aisles, it's more like a shelving unit with 2 sides was sat like in the middle of some space to kind of make it look like it had 2 aisles sort of look. There's a display on the window, along the other side of the wall. There's all kinds of books, you know, lined up and whatnot. There's a couple of knickknacks here and there. It looks like where they might have incense burners occasionally, you know, running. Other than that, I mean, it's dark and quiet in here. The only ambient light is the light that's being cast from outside through the window.
I'm gonna activate Eyes of the Beast.
Okay.
Take a look around.
Okay. So at this point, you end up seeing Ariel's eyes glow with kind of a red gleam as she starts looking around.
That's interesting. You know your eyes are glowing, right? You're doing that on purpose, right?
Oh, it's normal.
I wasn't thinking about normal, but it's interesting.
So you can tell that it goes back a little ways. There is there's a clearly marked door that says, you know, employees only.
There are no other doors?
Yeah, no. Just that one.
Before we go through any doors and stuff, I'm going to be checking for more wards.
Okay, I'll whisper to the group that there's a door back here that says employees only, and that's probably it.
Possibly, but
I'll be like, follow me.
You don't think
usually it's not going to be in an obvious place.
You don't think it's a James Bond kind of thing where I pull the book and some wall like shifts aside?
I'm gonna be with the machine gun. I'm gonna just like be looking over like the counter, making sure there's nobody like ducking down behind it, kind of thing.
Okay. So you just peek up over. No, they could stand to take out the trash, but no, nothing there.
What's in the trash?
Yeah, what's in the trash? Anything interesting?
Just looks like some wrapping paper that was thrown away. Maybe they got a delivery not too long ago, and then there's some like old leftover fast food.
Weird. Well.
So they must have normal people who work here.
I mean, somebody's got to be here during the day, right?
Yeah. All right, so you said to open the door, but Sansa, you were saying to wait. Why'd you want us to wait to go in that door?
It's not warded first, like the
Oh,
one
okay.
on the outside, because
Okay.
that can trigger an alarm and cause a whole lot of problems.
All right, you got a thinker. Okay.
So is
And-
it still? I'm sorry.
And I was just going to ask if can we see that back door from the register counter?
Yeah, because the register counter is about halfway into the room, so yeah. I barely, though, because there's not a whole lot of light in here.
Okay. If possible, I'd like to get behind the counter
Mm-hmm.
and just sort of have the gun, but just sort of have it.
Sure.
Just so I have a little bit of cover.
Absolutely.
Just 'cause I don't. Yeah, I don't know what to expect, but I want to be able to suppressing fire if I have to.
Yeah, that'll work.
Is there a chair behind the counter?
There is.
All right. When I see him do all that, I'm gonna walk around I'm like, oh, I'm gonna join you back here and just kind of sit in the chair.
Yeah. Okay. So, Rachel, why don't you go ahead and give it another perception and awareness check?
Is it perception awareness? Because that's what it wasn't last time.
What's that?
I said I don't think that's what I rolled last time, or is it
Wits and
something
awareness?
different? Perception. Yeah, it was wits and awareness. Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
As she's examining the door, I'm gonna take a step back and get ready to leap, just in case.
Gotcha. Okay. 2. Okay. So you again don't see it, but you know it's there.
There is another word here. Hold on a moment, and then I'll roll my. What do I need to roll for that again?
Manipulation and occult.
Manipulation. Occult.
Jerome, I've got a couple dots on firearm. Would I have a firearm?
You could have a pistol.
Wow. 4.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Man, I wish I had a 4 and a cult, man.
4 successes.
Yes.
Okay.
I rolled 2 more 10s.
So you do the same thing. You start going through some gestures. Some arcane energy starts to kind of ripple around your hands a little bit, and the same kind of sparkling effect comes off the door.
Steps back. Okay. It should be clear now.
Is it locked?
Turn the handle.
It's locked.
Yes, it's locked.
Oh, crud.
I'm gonna pull my gun out.
No.
Can we try?
I can't reach it from back here. I'm just anything comes out. You
Take it
got the machine gun. I'm good.
Oh.
Or
Can I check for keys in the
oh,
because I'm in the register area? Can I look for keys or anything?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, would that be perception and?
Perception and investigation.
Oh, I'm okay with this investigation. Ooh, okay, that it takes that away. Difficulty 6.
Okay. So you kind of
3 successes.
again, you're doing it in the dark, so you're feeling around. You're feeling it around and kind of lifting up the register a little bit to see if there's anything under it. You don't see any key.
Okay. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they have a backup key over here.
Can I use, this is going to sound stupid, but can I use my conjuration to just take the doorknob off the door to take it out of there to unlock it?
So you want to reach into your coat and produce the doorknob.
I mean, why not? It's going to unlock it, right?
It could quite possibly work. Yes, if you would like to just yoink it off, go ahead.
Pretty much. I'm just like, wait a minute. Just grab it.
Okay.
All right. So what do I roll for the conjuration then?
Okay, so for the conjuration, the type of conjuration you're trying to do, it is small. You aren't far from it.
Like right in front of it.
let's see. More than a couple feet.
Is it bad that I kind of wish that you were like a cheesy magician? We were like, "What's that behind your ear?" The doorknob.
That is conjuration, yes. So
I mean,
that is essentially what she could do. Okay, so you are going to need 4 successes.
What am I rolling for that though?
It's conjuration always operates off your dexterity and occult. It is going to be a difficulty of 7.
I need 4 successes.
4 successes.
Damn, too bad willpower's not an auto. Man, I need to get a 4 in occult, man.
You can spend a point of mana to lower that difficulty.
I don't know how important mana is, to be honest. So I don't know if it's worth that.
Yeah, fair enough.
I might save it.
Yeah, I'm gonna save it.
Okay, sure. Let her rip.
All right, come on. Difficulty 7.
Mm-hmm.
3.
Okay. So you're trying. You're going through the ritual. Casting your spell, and it's taking some time. There, you can clearly feel there's some resistance. Maybe it's a high quality lock of some kind.
Well, I would expect it to be.
So while she's doing that, is anybody else doing anything, or are you just keeping an eye out and standing, waiting for her to finish?
I don't think they know what I'm doing. I didn't say what I was doing.
Well, you're clearly casting something.
In the chair, looking around the shop.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna rifle. I'm gonna continue to like go through the cashier area. I'm looking for ledgers, any books that look like they might be like anything vampire related or anything that like anything with an ankh on it.
I'm gonna stay here, like where I am near the door, but I'm gonna look around.
Okay, Missy.
Yeah, at this point, I would just be looking for a spot to sneak in.
Okay. If you shrink down to about the size of a mouse, you could probably squeeze under the door.
I thought of that, but is there any kind of like, can we see, is there a ventilation like port anywhere where I could possibly go through that and instead take a look before I open the door?
Like be a snake and go to the ventilations.
Essentially.
Can you just do a garden snake and just slither under the door?
No, it's a small place, so they don't have central cooling, central air and heating in this.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't want to get squished in case I'm real small and something's in that room.
No, understandable. So then, would you like to wait then for Rachel to try and finish her spell?
Yeah. Once I see her doing something, I'm gonna go ahead and just stand back for a minute.
All right, go ahead and try again, Rachel.
You want me to just rip the door handle off?
I got 4.
Okay.
2 7s and 2 8s.
Yay.
So she, after some disgruntled looks, on her face and kind of going back through it, like trying to figure out what it was that maybe she did wrong, she produces the door handle from her coat. And when you guys blink, like the door handle's no longer there. She's got it in her hand, all completely intact.
And there's just the hole in the door.
There's the hole in the door. Yes.
All right,
She sets it on the counter.
All right, I'm gonna crouch at the door handle and look through.
That's a good idea.
Did you just grab the handle?
Magic.
It's very impressive. As I'm halfway through finishing the Sudoku book I probably found. There was a.
Okay, so
I know we all have our own spheres of that we practice with, but that you're doing things I haven't seen before. So
So, give me since you're pausing to look, give me a perception and alertness check, Brittany, as you're peering through the door.
Do I get any bonus because I've got night vision on?
It's a lower difficulty, so it'd be difficulty 5.
0 successes.
All right. Well, the one thing that you can tell is it's dimly lit. That there's a hallway that keeps going past it.
I mean, I don't see anything. It's a hallway.
Does it just open now?
I guess I'll open the door then.
Yeah. Opens with ease. Strange what happens when you remove the handle.
I'm gonna step forward using stealth.
Okay.
Oh. One more.
Okay.
Ah! Okay. Try and stay in the thing. Ooh. 5 successes.
Oh, nice. Okay, so she steps on through, and the hallway goes like it. I don't want to say it's aimless, but there doesn't seem to be a logical reason why the hallway just keeps going straight for a while. But then it eventually, like, you must walk maybe 50 feet, like straight back. No additional signs, no nothing, just like brick on either side, an occasional small little lantern, sconce. Oh, I should say not lantern, sconce. Just kind of offering a little bit of warm illumination. It's enough to walk by. You wouldn't want to try to read by it.
Is it like grading down?
No, just straight.
The building was not this long, was it?
That was going to be my question. Is like, does this seem like it's longer than the building?
Oh, it seems like it's way longer than the building.
Omen, can you help me out of this chair?
Yeah.
I don't feel good about this hallway.
It's got wheels on it.
But the hallway, when Missy, when you go down, or not Missy, sorry, Brittany, when you go down quietly, it eventually T-bones. You go right or left.
Can I see anything down either side?
More hallway.
When we walk up to the door, she's like 50 feet away from us at a T section.
Mm-hmm.
At least they could see me, right?
Yes. Yeah, at the end of the hallway, there's a picture of some stuffy-looking guy. Probably some old English aristocracy or something like that. Aristocracy. And then the hallway goes off to either side. It looks almost exactly the same like the hallway you just came down.
What are the
Except you're at an intersection.
Sansa, would you...
This hall is not dimensionally correct.
Sansa, would you know, is this something that the Tremere do to... Is this like a...
invaders? I don't know. Would I know that?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna turn around and
It's a puzzle.
look at them and be like,
is there a ward down the hallway?
No, it's not a ward. The building itself is
bigger on the inside.
It's spatially arcane. Yeah, in a way, it's kind of like Doctor Who, where you step inside the phone booth and it's much bigger on the inside.
Okay.
Some chantries do this to make it not so easy to make your way to the inner sanctum. So you have to know the directions to go, otherwise you'll just get turned around in a circle.
Are there symbols or anything on the walls that could help define the direction?
There are none. All there are the sconces that offer just a brief little bit of light, and then there is the picture at the end of that hallway.
I want to ask Luna, being somebody who spends a lot of time outdoors, is there any way that you could possibly track them? Follow the scent of patchouli, maybe?
See.
When I was in Nam, the trackers were pretty good. So like they would be able to look on the ground. You can see for footsteps and stuff. I couldn't do it. We had trackers that could do that.
Or
You
is it
found the ley lines, right? Could you maybe do whatever you did again and try to find maybe what direction to go, left or right?
I can try it. The ley line, it ended outside. It's
Oh.
so like they're tapping into the ley line from inside here. But I can try to see if there's like vestigial energies. So
what I can do is turn into a creature that can see in the dark.
Oh,
That would help.
Well, even a bloodhound, you can smell it out.
I can see in the dark.
Jerome, would I still have that kind of a power to that kind of a sensory, even though I'm not? Okay.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You take the only thing you don't do is take on the supernatural traits of it. So like if you turn into a Wolverine, yeah, you're gonna have the same senses as a Wolverine, same type of teeth and claws as a Wolverine, sort of thing. So.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with Wolverine and then sniff everything out.
I'm going to take Luna's suggestion, not Luna, I'm sorry, Sansa's suggestion about checking out the ley lines. Is that just mana manipulation occult?
It's not going to be mana manipulation. It is. Hold on a second. I need to go back to that book. Can I get you guys to write that down somewhere in your character sheets or something?
Yeah.
I've got the sorcerer book pulled up. I can take screen caps and put them into our chat.
Cool.
If that would help.
Where do we go? Down to M's. Whoops. Back up. Manipulation and occult. And you will spend a willpower point to do it.
Manipulation occult. Okay. Spend a willpower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, Jerome, I have a quick question.
Yes.
When Luna transforms, does the bone breastplate does it just fall off of them like the rest of her clothes?
Yeah,
or
unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it
something?
difficulty 6?
What's that?
Difficulty 6?
Difficulty 7.
7. 1, 2, 3 successes.
Okay. And then you're changing to a Wolverine?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and roll for that too. Stamina and occult.
Nothing. Shit.
Okay. So you
Actually, I got snake eyes, so there's that.
You got a
Did you
botch.
Yeah, I botched.
Oh no.
I know.
You're a human-sized Wolverine.
It's just like Animorphs. You're stuck inside that body for now, forever.
She makes the noise of Wolverine and gives us away.
I hope it's like a grotesque creature.
She gets adamantium claws.
Okay.
Sneaking snap.
Let me see what.
But it's all
happens
messed
there.
up, so it's like eyelashes instead.
Ooh. Okay.
You get a yellow and black suit.
Okay. So you see that she ends up shifting down to a Wolverine. And but the form of the Wolverine has like a dog head.
Is that what?
Well, wolf.
What is that?
Oh, Wolverine.
Basically,
Wolverine?
yeah, well, Wolverine.
Did you mix up your syllables?
She spelled that wrong.
Is that some kind of extinct creature like a dodo?
That's pretty clever.
And while it didn't cause you any damage, it hurt to do it this time. You knew something went wrong.
I didn't get the face right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
pretty
you
much.
encounter him every day.
Okay, so Todd, what did you end up getting? You said you got 3?
3. Yeah.
Okay. So at first guess, when you start detecting the mana, obviously you're just detecting that the whole place is magical and whatnot. Give me a wits and enigmas check.
I'm folding all of Luna's clothes and I'm putting them in my backpack.
Okay.
Thanks.
Difficulty?
Difficulty 6.
I have 1 botch.
You botched?
Yeah, I have 2
Jeez,
ones.
guys.
2 1s and an 8.
Okay, no, you didn't botch. Then you just failed.
No, I got 2 1s. and an
Right.
8.
A botch happens when you have no successes and only ones. You fail in the new V20 system. You only fail if you have at least 1 success.
Oh, okay.
So if you have 1 success and you roll like 5 ones, then you just fail because you got 1 success.
All right, did not know that. All right, so I failed.
Yeah. Okay, so you take off like down one of the hallways and start. You're like, okay, I've got this figured out, sort of thing. You're pretty confident. You think you know what you're doing. You're trying to follow the ebb and flow of the magic. Although in many respects, as you start to do so, it's much like trying to hear somebody in a very loud room. Every so often you think you can key in on them, but then you second guess yourself and you go and you back and forth and whatnot. And then when you end up taking another turn, you realize, when you look back, because everybody is walking with you as you do, you turn and look at the T intersection and you look down the hallway and you don't see that T intersection anymore and you realize you made a wrong turn.
Okay. I'm sorry. They've got some protective magic in here that's a little confusing, and I've taken a wrong turn. I am sorry.
You're muted, Rachel.
Yeah, I know. I realize that. When he says that there's protective magics in place, can I roll to see if I can see what he's talking about? Like any more wards or anything?
You know that they're not wards. It has to do with the dimensions of the place that you're in.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask Luna. I was like, is it possible? Can you? I don't know if you can talk in this form or even understand me, but could you maybe try to pick up a scent?
I'm just gonna go ahead and start sniffing.
Sure, go ahead. You're going to give me a wits and alertness check. Difficulty 6.
What did Tremere smell like?
Death.
Undead.
Blood,
Oh, yeah.
blood and books, and evil.
Half of that smell was good.
Which half?
3 successes.
3 successes? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
All right, so it's impossible for you to communicate. You understand what everybody's saying, but it's impossible for you to communicate outside of like literally like dog sounds of like barking or whatnot. But she picked up on what it was. I mean, she clearly picked up on what it was you were saying, and so she starts like looking around, and you instinctively start going the opposite direction that you guys just came.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Let's follow the winter wolf.
Okay, and the winter wolverine.
Yeah.
Todd, why don't you go ahead and give me another wits and enigmas check.
Difficulty 6 again?
Yes.
2 successes.
Okay. So at this point, between the two of you, between her booper snoot and your ability to figure out puzzles, It feels like it took you guys an hour. You're wandering these halls, just going to, like, every time you turned, it was just the same turn, the same intersection, the same sign, the same sconces, and then eventually you start, between the two of you, you start kind of like keeping track of the turns that you made, sort of thing, of like, okay, maybe there's a pattern to this, and like the whole contra code, up, down, left, right. You start going through that sort of code in your mind, and then eventually you actually come to another door.
Okay, I think we've got to figure it out. We got the door.
Now, this door does not look like the door that you went through before. This is a large iron door.
That's new.
Very good, Luna.
All right,
Patterhead.
you're going to want to do your thing again.
I'm just going to wag my tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
nub.
check it.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Manipulation and occult, right?
Yes. Well, no, you're that's
counter magic, right?
You're just going straight counter magic.
Well, I was gonna check it first. I'm assuming there is a ward, but let me see if I can find it first.
Sure.
So so I wrote down the wrong thing then. So it's
check for the ward. It's going to be wits and awareness.
Oh.
Okay, I wrote that down this time. What do I have again? Okay. Yeah, that's a 1. 2.
2. Okay. So you do detect that there is a ward of some kind on this door.
Okay. So she's gonna stand back, flex her fingers again, and do it again.
You do detect, however, it is different than the ward that you saw before.
Oh. Then I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna take a few extra minutes to study it, perhaps?
Okay, sure. Give me a wits and occult check that now. Difficulty 7.
Damn it, once. Okay. I got 4 that time, though.
Okay, all right. So this one...
Oh, I'm sorry, 3. 1's a 6, sorry.
That's okay. This one, the ward that you found, that you've detected, is not only a locking ward, but it's also a homing ward.
Locking and homing ward? What does that mean?
Meaning the door is specifically here to allow people to enter this, to come in and out of this puzzle hallway. So if you disrupt it, it's going to trap you in here.
What do you mean disrupt it? Like if I break it?
Yes, if you flat out break it.
So I need to unlock it or unravel it, not break it?
Right.
Okay.
In essence,
and then the locking one?
In essence, what you want to do now is not do the sledgehammer to the glass window. You want to actually try and figure out how you're going to manually unlock the door.
Untrace the pattern, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, guys, this one's has 2 of them, and they're a bit different than the other ones. I have to take my time with this because one of the wards has a trigger that if I just break it, it will trap us in here, and we don't want that.
Please don't do that.
I'm going to try not to.
Omen did to me earlier.
What's that?
Do I know what Omen did to me earlier with that bless? Do I know that was from him?
No, you don't know.
Okay.
So I'm going to work on undoing it carefully, not just breaking it. And I'm going to... Is it the same for the lock, too? She
announced what she's doing. She's actively trying to, in essence, decode the magic that's here. If anybody would like to pitch in for this, except Missy, unfortunately, she can't really communicate in the form she's in. You are welcome to attempt to roll additional wits and occult checks.
What's the difficulty on this?
The difficulty is going to be 9.
Okay, I'm gonna spend a willpower to reduce that.
Okay.
I'll add my wits and occult.
Well, you can't spend a willpower because this is an active magic spell you're using to. You're not trying to break it. You're in essence trying to unlock it.
Oh, I thought I could do a willpower to lower the difficulty.
Mana.
No, that's mana.
Okay.
Oh, mana.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's worth it on that.
I'm gonna spend a willpower to cast my Blessed Bee ritual.
Oh, okay.
To
So
see
you're
if
not
I
going to
can-
add to it. You're gonna bless her. Okay. Go ahead and spend your point and go ahead and roll.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful. If other people want to help cast it, then I can at least lower the difficulty so more numbers can get in.
Sure. Okay. So
I want to help
before you
just by
before you
finding
roll,
it.
Rachel, he's
What?
checking to see. Basically, he's checking to see if he can buff you.
Okay. Well, I didn't hear because Todd was talking too. Todd? What were you saying?
I want to help her cast it by using like something identifying with the mana that she's working with.
Okay. So anybody helping her, you're not going to spend any willpower or anything. You're going to roll your wits and occult.
Okay.
And I'm rolling my fortune, which is manipulation.
Is it difficulty 9?
Difficulty 8.
Well, right
Right.
now it's difficulty 9. We're waiting to see if George's blessing of her is
Please do.
Wait, so
I
I thought
got-
me spending a mana reduced it by 1.
you got 3. Okay, so you spent a mana, brings it down to 8 for
Okay.
you. He blessed you, brings it down 1 more to a 7. So for those of you who are attempting to help her, you're still at a difficulty 9. She's at a difficulty 7.
Ah.
Okay.
Dang it.
So 1. 3.
Okay.
I got 2 10s. I'm re-rolling those.
Nice.
Nice.
I have 2 successes.
Okay. All right. Good.
5 total.
So you put your collective heads together and you start going over the design of the door, which you can tell the door itself is not just a straight like flat piece of like iron, slab with a doorknob. You can tell that the creation of the door, the rivets, everything to it was made with an arcane seal. And so then you're like, okay, well, no, if we do this, then this needs to turn, or if we do this, then this needs to happen. And then eventually, after about 30 minutes of just kind of brainstorming and figuring it out and adjusting to what you think the spell is going to need to adjust to, then she ends up finishing her spell, and you hear a very polite come from the door.
Was that for both of the wards?
No, that's for the door. That you've managed to bypass the door without breaking it.
Well, I was confused. You said that there was a locking ward and a
Mhm.
homing ward.
Correct. If you broke one, you're trapped here. But you
Oh,
Maybe
you
but I didn't
unlocked
break
it.
either of them. I
Right.
just was able to undo. Okay. I didn't know if I had to roll twice
Yeah,
on that.
well, the
so-
ward itself isn't broken. It's still able to be used. You basically beat it in such a way like a pick lock, in essence.
Okay.
You didn't break it. You managed to pick the lock.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
I think we did it.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
So as the door creaks open, and you can't help it. It just lets out this creak of. On the inside is a very old school looking, almost castle. Not, to scale, not huge, but like on the inside, very large, stones planted together, torch lights in here, flickering carefully to illuminate the area. There is a portcullis gate at the far side that is already lifted open. You can hear the dripping of water not far away as it splatters against stone and perhaps maybe a small pool underneath it. And you end up hearing from a distance, "Hey! Hey!"
Who's that?
Is it still super dark?
No, it's
Or-
torch lit.
Okay.
I just say that. Who's that?
I don't know who it is.
Not a vampire. Who are you? Can somebody get me out of here?
Can you be quiet?
Do the torches come off the walls?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go grab a torch off the wall and walk towards the voice.
Okay. What about the rest of you?
I'm gonna head
follow
towards
Okay.
I'm
very
gonna follow, but I'm
carefully. Yeah.
Are you still a Wolverine?
Yeah, I'm gonna take up at the kind of the rear just so I can smell around and see if I can smell anything.
Oh, sure. Bring up the rear, in the rear with the gear.
Yeah, I'll stay with Luna just because like I'm kind of worried. I'm worried that maybe there's vampires behind us too, because my I had the thought as the door was opening. I was like, wait, we've traveled through all of this extra dimensional space. Would the amulet that Sansa had have still warmed up if the vampires were in this area here?
Good question.
Is it still warm?
It is not.
Guys, she feels her amulet. I don't believe there's anybody. There's no vampires here.
But there were in the bookstore?
Were there? I mean, was it warm in the bookstore?
You guys are just talking about this out loud as you're walking along.
I guess we're whispering it. I don't know. Do
Yeah.
I remember it being warm in the bookstore?
It's a good question. At this point, you don't remember. You were so focused on other stuff.
I don't remember. I wasn't concentrating on it at the time, but now that we're in here, I don't feel them.
Does that mean that this place is free and clear?
I wouldn't assume so, but I know that at least the area that we're in is.
Well, this guy here knows about vampires, so let's go talk to him.
Quick question about my amulet. Do I know what the radius is of it? Like how far it reaches?
You've never really tested it, but you're pretty sure it's at least within like maybe 15 yards.
Okay. So.
I mean, it's enough to give you an advanced warning unless somebody's
Yeah.
really hiding.
I can tell you that if they're close, they're not within, I would guess, 15 yards of us.
They may be behind us. I'm definitely gonna watch our back.
Okay.
Torches in front of me. I'm like, where are you?
So as you guys are going through, there are other passages in here. Not many, but it looks like this is almost like a dungeon of some kind that was converted for study and library use. So I mean, you can see, and everything down here is all low tech. So it's all like wooden tables, manual scripts and books and things like that. And as you're walking through here, you can see that like bookshelves where books were, there's like shit scattered everywhere. A couple books maybe on the shelves, but like there's paper all on the floor. There's like scrolled, spilled ink.
So it looks like it's
quills.
raided.
Or somebody ransacked it. Yeah, something happened in a hurry here of some kind. Yeah, but
Okay,
you're kind of following the voice, not really, exploring everything, and you end up making another turn into a literal dungeon / mad doctor's room, for lack of a better term. I mean, you see very old school torture equipment, like an Iron Maiden. You see a rack. You see one of your old school like laboratory tables in here, with medical equipment like laid out. You can see that there's a body laid out there where it looks like somebody whose diet had been examined, in some fashion surgically. You can see that there's like, think of like walking into the laboratory that Frankenstein had. Dr. Frankenstein, like a lot of that old school horror film, sort of like, anatomy pictures and whatnot, of all like practical knowledge of just animals and people and whatnot. and you see a guy. You see a guy sitting on one of the racks. His joints are flush and red, like he had been, pulled at one point. He may still be, because he doesn't seem to be moving very fast. But he's tied to the table, and he's split up in an X fashion. Legs split, arms kind of going off to the side. His clothing's tattered, and he looks kind of skinny, like he hasn't. He possibly malnourished. And he looks, and he leans over because he's been beaten too. So he only has one operable eye that isn't completely swollen shut. And he looks, and he's like, Sansa? Lawrence?
Who is it?
You guys don't recognize him.
How do you know that?
How do you know us?
Sorry, it's my job to know stuff. How did the sorcerers find this place?
They didn't.
Can we back up a step?
You didn't. Then I'm not looking at Sansa and Lawrence and Ariel and.
That's not what I meant.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Oh. Can somebody give me water first, please?
I have water. I'll go up and give him some water and look over his wounds to kind of assess.
You can tell that while he's not being the restraints aren't actively being pulled, they're pulled tight enough that he's not moving. He was probably in the process of being pulled apart.
I'm just unsure about letting him go.
No, that's fine. So I mean, you give him water, and he's just lapping it up like a dog. I just trying to get in as much as possible, and just takes a moment, lays his head back, and he just sighs and.
How long have you been here?
What's the date?
March
5th.
5th?
Oh Christ. I don't know, a year.
What?
I think.
How have you survived here a year?
I don't.
And how do you know who we are coming here a year ago when we didn't know?
Well, I didn't know you'd be here together, but I know of you guys. I've got files on most all of you.
What?
And who are you again?
and he's looking and trying to get himself a little loose. He's like, the friends call me Watcher.
Watcher.
Yeah. Look, it's a long story. I don't know if they're going to come back. Can somebody get me the fuck out of here?
How do you know how?
Are you?
How many are in this place?
I start working on his wrist to get him loose.
Okay, I don't know how many. I mean, do you mean vampires or the Tremere? I don't know. I know of the one who was still trying to torture me, but I think he was the last holdover.
Jerome, does the name Watcher?
No, Watcher doesn't mean anything. Okay. But when you finally get his hands loose, he immediately hugs his body for a second, like he's trying to pull himself back together, just oh Christ, oh.
All right, I'm gonna go to work on this guy.
While she's doing that, I'm gonna be looking around the room.
Okay.
Do the paperwork, whatever.
And he looks down and he's like, the fuck is that? And he's looking at Missy's character. He's just like,
a Wolverine. Haven't you ever seen one before?
I'm gonna look at him and just growl.
Okay. He's like, no,
it's okay.
But I mean, if he or she is with you, I don't really care. I've never seen that before.
Okay, it's with us.
Cool. Yeah. If you need credibility, just talk to Colin. He knows who I am. Just, oh God, get me the fuck out of this.
Colin.
You guys have all heard of Colin. Colin has a rep in the sorcerers community. He is the two things he's known for. One, he went out and married a vampire. Yeah. And two, there is a strong rumor running around that he is immortal now. And so sorcerers are kind of envious of this. They're like, how the fuck did he figure that out? So some are like, okay, he cheated. He's like did vampire stuff, and the others are like credible sorcerers are like, no, he somehow figured it out, and we want to know. And so it's like it's kind of been a back and forth.
Okay. Well, while they're getting him fixed up, yeah, she's gonna look around.
Okay.
I don't know what exactly I'm looking for. I guess I'm looking for some kind of vibe or energy.
Missy, why don't you go ahead and give me another check to see if you can get out of your Wolverine form?
If you do that, I gotta go to the bathroom again.
Go ahead.
Okay, so where...
And I'm just watching the...
You got 2.
Oh, sorry.
2. Okay.
Where is the worst injured? Because I think I gotta spend a will for each, like... injury.
Okay, yeah, so then he's just like,
tell me where it hurts.
he's like, my legs. If you can do something for my legs, I can at least walk my ass out of here with you, and we're good.
I can do something with your legs.
Okay. And Missy, you eventually get back to your human form.
Also, what does he look? I guess it's hard to tell what he looks like because he's all beat back.
Yeah, he has kind of sandy blonde hair, but it's all like messed up at this point. He's got a nice welt under one of his eyes.
I guess he doesn't really look like himself.
No, not really.
Okay, manipulation and intuition.
Yes.
And do I have to keep track of anything else?
Just the rolls, actually.
I'm giving Luna back her clothes.
0.
Averting my gaze.
Thank you.
You got 0 successes?
I mean, I got 1, but I also got a 1. So
okay, so nada.
No.
So you're still working at this point with the spell. Go ahead and roll again.
I'm gonna watch Luna get dressed. I'm not pervy about it. I'm just appreciating the human form.
Sure. Are you rolling difficulty 6 or 5?
I don't remember.
Okay, so you should be rolling difficulty 5 because you have medicine and you know what it is you're doing for this particular piece of it.
This roll also I get 0 successes.
Wow,
I got 2 5s, but I also got 2 1s.
Wow, some sports medicine you've got there.
Switch
Isn't
over.
like acupuncture.
So while you guys are doing this, and you're watching Luna get dressed again, and Mel is helping her get dressed, I guess. I guess the only one looking around then is Rachel's character.
Okay, 5 successes.
All right.
Woo!
So after about 20 minutes of trying really hard and to get this figured out, you got 5 successes. You actually heal most. You actually heal most of his injuries.
Oh, wow.
So not only do you not only do his legs look great, his arms look a lot less tender.
Oh, I'm gonna hand him the water. Well, first I'm gonna take a big swig of the water, and then I'm gonna hand it to him.
Okay. So he finishes off the water just without even hesitation.
I think I got like a granola bar or something. Do you feel up to that?
Yeah. It beats the crap that they were giving me.
So I'll dig in my pack for something food-wise, which I'm sure I carry.
Okay. And so, well, she's looking. I'll get to her in a second. So he looks to all of you and he's like, I still don't get it. How in the hell did you guys find this place?
We went through a bookstore.
No. I get that.
By going through the bookstore, we found ourselves in a hallway maze that had been shifted with magic. Luna was sniffing out the trail of the vampires, and it led us to this door that we came through.
You guys didn't close the door, did you?
I don't think so.
I would not have wanted to close the door.
Good. Oh, good.
No, I know better than that. Otherwise, I'd have to redo it on the other side.
Yeah. No. Oh God. Okay. So, I don't know what all you know. I've been in here for way too long as it is. But and I'm hoping there's something here, but these asshats, these Tremere were behind a lot of the problems that were in the city. They were spying on everybody, including some of the sorcerers, trying to find tips on it, but apparently they were manipulated by whoever this infernal person is that they were chasing down. And by the time they figured it out, well, you guys don't know what they are probably, but this other group of vampires came in and whooped their ass.
But I know
The Tremere are gone?
I don't know if gone is an appropriate term, but they definitely fled. There was only one left over that I knew of, and he was trying to pump me for information on anything, which they were constantly trying to do.
So is there anything left here?
I don't know. I haven't been out of this room in ages.
Did they ever mention anything about a golden fly? Or Juliet Washington?
The Naboo Afef, the Order of the Golden Fly?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
is that who they were spying with, or the people they were working with?
No, but I did hear them mention something about a golden fly. Then I guess that makes sense. Are they the ones behind this?
They're
Behind
part
the
of
infernalism? Yes.
this Juliet person is the
Cult
Their
leader.
leader.
mind, I guess. The front man.
All I know is they managed to figure out that there were summoning wards around the city, and that they were going to look into it, but they were so damn busy with their own politics, in the city, that they just never got around to it. I don't know if you know anything, but there was a group of vampires that were here before, and again, I know this because they fucking talked around me. But they were trying to come in. They were trying to come into town and set up this chantry, helping this other faction or whatnot within politics. But that was their big thing. And when that group got stomped on by this opposing group that came from out of town, they opted to hide in the chantry, which is why I'm alarmed that you guys were able to find it. Don't get me wrong, I'm super grateful.
How did-
Rumors.
How did they get you?
So he gets up and he starts, rubbing his hands, and he's like, I was avoiding the Society of Leopold.
We know about them, right?
No, not really.
We don't?
Mm-mm.
Is that another group of mages?
Is that more vampires?
No, in layman's terms, the Society of Leopold, they're a bunch of like super religious zealots that will hunt down anything supernatural, including you, me. If they think you've got ties to them, that's enough to make you an enemy.
Are they around here too?
They were. I don't know what happened to them. I ended up getting away from them and falling prey to these damn Tremere.
Maybe we should hasten our retreat from this place and maybe get you to
Oh, we lost Missy.
someplace safe. Sansa, is there anything in this place that we can use?
I need to look. Jerome, do I know what I'm looking for exactly?
Relatively, because a lot of the things that they do to set up their chantries or whatnot is not going to be completely unfamiliar. It would be like going to England. You both speak English. There may be some slang that you don't fully understand. There may be some, dialect or accent or something that makes it a little bit harder to understand, but you're still speaking the same thing. So while you're thinking about that, it has been it has been almost 3.5 hours. So we'll go ahead and stop there, and we're going to pick up for the game 2 in 2 weeks on the 19th.
Cool.
Ray.
So I hope you guys had fun as your new alternate personas.
That was fun.
We learned some interesting things.
I kind of enjoyed the fact that, like, much more so than vampire, this feels more collaborative. Like the team up kind of aspect of it, like it felt more like we needed to operate as a team in order to, like, for example, breaking down the door, but like first we had to find the door. Like it's like it felt like, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I'm glad you guys like it. So yeah, obviously there's more to come, and hopefully some interesting secrets to possibly learn in the small Tremere chantry you guys managed to penetrate. But no, I thank everybody for coming. You guys doing your makeup and getting prepped and whatnot. It looks fantastic. We have got Cyberpunk tomorrow night, which is almost tonight at this point, given the hour. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, that's on the 6th. On the 8th, we've got the Shifter game. And then on the 10th, we have got our Mass Effect game. So hopefully we'll be able to get all those going and have some more fun. With that, I'll go ahead and call it and end the stream. Thank you guys for watching. And when we eventually upload it, of course, checking out the uploads on YouTube. Thanks, guys. Good night.